Chapter 3989. All the experts here are from the flowing water forbidden land. Yes, they should have arrived here long ago. When the disciples of the roaring dragon forbidden land saw the disciples of the flowing water forbidden land, they revealed fearful expressions and transmitted their voices softly. He was afraid of this match. The roaring dragon forbidden land's strength was ranked in the 90s in the entire universe. As for the dragon roar forbidden land, it could be ranked second. It could be said that any top-notch expert from the roar of dragon forbidden land could destroy the roar of dragon forbidden land. In addition, the roaring dragon forbidden land's disciples were all at the ruler level. Other than Long Yinyin and Long Yinhao, who had reached the peak of the universe venerable realm, the rest were merely at the 7th or 8th level. There was even a young one who was at the 5th level of the universe venerable realm. The disciples of the flowing water forbidden land did not say anything about the arrival of Wang Xian and his group. Yinyin, Yinhao, cultivate here. If you're lucky, you'll be able to absorb the soul fragments of the experts here. Your luck is pretty good, and it might even be comparable to obtaining some sword and magic inheritances, said Wang Xian to them. Thank you, brother Wang Xian. Long Yinyin nodded heavily, a happy expression on his face. Brother Wang Xian. Just then, a voice sounded from not too far away. Soon after, Wang Xian saw a dozen figures flying towards him. The one in the lead was a woman. Her body was covered in flowing water, and she had a comfortable smile on her face. Next to him was a young man covered in flowing water. Both of them exuded a powerful and noble aura. They flew over and fixed their eyes on Wang Xian. This is really amazing. I didn't expect Brother Wang to have made a breakthrough in your strength. The one who spoke was the Saintess of the Flowing Water Forbidden Zone, Saintess Liu Yu. She looked at Wang Xian with astonishment in her eyes. As the holy maidens of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land, they possessed a large number of treasures. Naturally, there were also many treasures that could investigate one's strength. They could naturally sense that Wang Xian had made a breakthrough in his strength. After the breakthrough, Wang Xian would possess the same level of combat power as them. Although they didn't think that Wang Xian was a match for them, it wouldn't be easy for them to kill Wang Xian either. Especially since he had obtained the inheritance corpse of a top-notch expert from the last cataclysm. Hehe, I'm just lucky. Wang Xian looked at the crowd from the flowing water forbidden zone. His gaze fell on Saintess Liu Yu and he gave a faint smile. This is not a matter of luck. Saintess Liu Yu looked at Wang Xian before turning to Long Yinhao and the rest. She said directly, Saintess Wang Xian, to be honest, we have a favor to ask of you. Oh. Please speak, Holy Maiden Liu Yu. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and looked at them curiously. Our flowing water forbidden land has a technique that allows us to use a single person as the core to divert and evenly distribute any damage. Holy Maiden Liu Yu said, we used this method to divert the willpower attack from the demonic pillar, but one of our junior brothers, who was the core of the attack, died in less than a minute. This is because we have already diverted the willpower of the demonic pillar dozens of times. Given our willpower and mental strength, we can't withstand the impact at all. It's hard to imagine how Holy Son Wang Xian succeeded. As she spoke, she suddenly stopped. Wang Xian looked at her, smiled, and gestured for her to continue. To break the demonic pillar, an expert of the same attribute is required to inject energy into the demonic pillar. However, it's not necessary to withstand the willpower attack. This method of ours is very safe. Of course, the prerequisite is that we can withstand the willpower attack. We would like to seek Holy Son Wang Xian's help to break the demonic pillar with this method. Saintess Liu Yu continued. As for the demonic pillar, after Wang Xian obtained one, they had been trying to break the flowing water forbidden zone to gain the recognition of the expert corpse within. However, they had never succeeded. They had even lost a junior brother at the Third Order Universe Sovereign Realm. Based on the time of their junior brother's death, they concluded that even if they could raise their strength by another level, they wouldn't be able to withstand the willpower attack. This shocked them to the core. They couldn't understand how Wang Xian had withstood the willpower attack. You want to use me as the core, and I will bear the majority of the willpower attack to gain the recognition of the expert corpse within the demonic pillar, right? Wang Xian looked at the saintess of the flowing water forbidden zone and asked directly. Yes, this method of the flowing water forbidden zone can help you bear some of the willpower attack. Of course, this is our limit. You will have to bear the majority of the willpower attack yourself. Of course, since you can withstand the willpower attack of the spatial demonic pillar alone, I believe you can also withstand the impact of the other demonic pillars. After all, experts at the pinnacle sovereign realm with the spatial attribute are recognized as the strongest. Saintess Liu Yu said, of course, the flowing water forbidden zone won't let you help for free. You can state your conditions, and we will try our best to fulfill them. Hearing her words, Wang Xian's eyes flickered. He swept his gaze across the demonic pillars. Sure. I want 2 water-attributed demonic pillars. He hesitated for a dozen seconds, then said, 2 water-elemental demonic columns. Also, since we're going to open the demonic columns, we might as well open them all. You, the flowing water forbidden land, contact the disciples of the thoughtful forbidden land and the other forbidden lands. Contact the disciples of the flowing water forbidden zone and other forbidden ground. Other than the 2 water-attributed demonic pillars, I want to pick 2 items from the remaining demonic pillars, apart from the corpses of the expert. Wang Xian stated his conditions directly. Since the flowing water forbidden zone had this method, Wang Xian could open all the demonic pillars. After opening them, he didn't care about the expert's corpses because they weren't of much use to him. But Wang Xian couldn't miss out on some of the treasures on these experts. In addition, he wanted the 2 water-attributed experts' corpses for Long Yinyan and Long Yinhao. He had been with them for tens of millions of years, and they had a lot of friendship. He would give them an opportunity. 2 water-attributed corpses. Brother Wang Xian, aren't you asking for too much? Before Saintess Liu Yu could answer, the other saint of the flowing water forbidden zone spoke up immediately. There were 3 water-attributed demonic pillars on the entire 2nd floor. If Wang Xian wanted 2, the 3rd would definitely be Saintess Liu Yu's. Then he wouldn't get anything. This was unacceptable to him. Brother Wang Xian, 2 water-attributed corpses. Is that too much? I can give you 1. Saintess Liu Yu frowned slightly as she spoke. It's not much. You can consider it. You provide the spells, and I'll provide the strength. Demonic pillars of other attributes are useless to you, but you can trade with the others from the flowing water forbidden zone. I believe the value of the demonic pillars you offer will definitely be more than what I get. Oh, right. I know the saint of the Void Dragon's sacred land. I'll trade with them for the metal-attributed demonic pillars. In other words, I want 3 demonic pillars and 2 treasures from each expert. Overall, the flowing water forbidden zone is still the one with the biggest advantage, Wang Xian said. Chapter 3990, Wang Xian's condition wasn't too demanding. There were a total of 12 demonic pillars. He had absorbed 1 himself, so there were still 11 left. Of these 11 demonic pillars, he wanted 3, leaving 8. He wanted 2 treasures from the corpses of the experts in the demonic pillars. In the flowing water forbidden land, they would obtain 8 corpses of experts and 8 powerful inheritances. Compared to treasures, these inheritances were much more powerful. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that unless these 8 experts had extremely powerful treasures on them, they wouldn't be as valuable as these inheritances. Furthermore, if the treasures were only at the level of inborn cardinal treasures, the value of these treasures would at most be equivalent to 3 corpses. In any case, the flowing water forbidden land would be more profitable. Upon hearing Wang Xian's words, Saintess Liu Yu frowned slightly and pondered. You can have the other attributes, but we want 2 of the water attribute. The saint of the flowing water forbidden land said to Wang Xian with a complicated expression, or we can compensate with other treasures. The saint of the flowing water forbidden land didn't want to give up a top-notch inheritance of a universe lord. Such an inheritance existed in the flowing water forbidden land, but it wasn't something he could obtain. He was only a saint of this generation. There were many generations of saints and saintesses in the past. Some of the saints and saintesses were even more talented than him. Therefore, the inheritance of the demonic pillars was very important to him. What's the use of giving me the demonic pillars of other attributes? The disciples of the roaring dragon forbidden land are all of the water attribute. Wang Xian shook his head plainly. There's no room for negotiation. If you agree, we'll cooperate. If not, forget it. As he spoke, he swept his gaze across the surrounding demonic pillars. Wang Xian wasn't very interested in these demonic pillars. The cultivation methods of the Nine-Source universe and the Sword and Sorcerer mainland were somewhat different. As members of the Divine Dragon clan, they had their own cultivation methods. They had offensive methods that weren't weaker than the Sword and Sorcerer mainland. Therefore, Wang Xian didn't really care about the corpses of these experts. Roving Sword and the rest weren't too demanding for the corpse of the metal attribute expert. Cultivation methods were different. Even if they obtained the corpses of experts, they could only carry out supplementary cultivation. As for treasures, they were all right. If he could get his hands on them, Wang Xian was prepared to sell them all in exchange for resources to enhance the strength of his physical body and the strength of the 5 elements Great Grindstone Tai Chi Dragon Plate. When the Saint of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land heard Wang Xian's decisive words, his face darkened. Liu Yu's brows furrowed slightly as she glanced at the saint beside her. I'll contact the seniors of our Flowing Water Forbidden Land. She hesitated for a moment before speaking. The inheritance within these demonic pillars was too powerful. Even though she was the saintess of the Flowing Water Forbidden Zone, she could not make the decision. Can you contact the outside? That's even better. If you agree, I need your Flowing Water Forbidden Land to protect the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land and prevent the experts from the other Forbidden Lands and Holy Lands from threatening us to give the 2 water-attributed demonic pillars to others. Wang Xian added. Sure. Liu Yu Saintess nodded and immediately contacted her. Buzz buzz. Yes, the seniors of our Flowing Water Forbidden Land have agreed. Soon, Saintess Liu Yu spoke to Wang Xian. All right, let's start now. Wang Xian looked at Liu Yu Saintess and said. Liu Yu Saintess nodded and looked at the water-attributed demonic pillars in front of her. The 3 water-attributed demonic pillars can be distributed as you wish. There aren't many records of the experts from the previous cataclysm. Sure. Wang Xian nodded and did not reject. In that case, we'll be circulating our spells to connect all of us together. Brother Wang Xian, although you don't have the water attribute, you should be fine as long as you don't resist. As Liu Yu Saintess spoke, she looked at the surrounding disciples and said, let's start. Set up the spell and cast the spells. It's Liu Yu Saintess. The disciples answered immediately. At the side, the Saint of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land was indignant. However, the Flowing Water Forbidden Land was ruled by Liu Yu Saintess. His strength was a level lower than hers. There was no room for him to resist. Qian Liu Saint, this time, the seniors of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land will give you some compensation. There will be plenty of benefits too. Liu Yu Saintess said to Qian Liu Saint. Qian Liu Saint took a deep breath and nodded. Let's begin. Liu Yu Saintess said. She looked at Wang Xian and said, Brother Wang Xian, stand here. No problem. Wang Xian nodded his head and took a step forward. The disciples of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land also stood around Wang Xian immediately. Brother Wang Xian. At the side, Long Yinyin and the rest could not help but shout at Wang Xian. It'll take a few days to a few hours. Let's begin. Wang Xian smiled at them. He then looked at Liu Yu Saintess. Liu Yu Saintess nodded. With a flick of her palm, a huge magic staff appeared in her hand. She waved it forward, and streams of water connected everyone. Wang Xian looked at the water flowing into his body. He sensed that there was no danger. It's about to begin. Wang Xian, don't resist. As Liu Yu Saintess spoke, she moved her palm and landed it on the demonic pillar. Subsequently, an impact force of willpower surged towards her. However, the impact force of willpower entered her body and spread to the surroundings along with the flow of water. Wang Xian's eyes flickered when he saw it. Subsequently, he felt a strong impact force of willpower surging towards him. Wang Xian focused his eyes and resisted with all his might. Images appeared in his mind one after another. The battle scene was similar to what he had seen before. But there were some differences. And this time, Wang Xian felt that the impact force of willpower was much weaker than the previous time. This was because the impact force of willpower had been slightly dispersed. After all, there were more than a dozen people around to help him share the burden. Besides, space was king. Naturally, the impact force of experts with space attributes was the strongest. Wang Xian resisted the impact force of willpower, and the images in his mind flickered continuously. This time, it was much faster than the previous time. What are the flowing water forbidden land and Wang Xian doing? Could it be that they have found a way to break the demonic pillar? Around them, the saints of the obscene forbidden land and the rest of the saints and saintesses of the Sacred Institute looked over, their eyes gleaming. The saints and saintesses of the obscene forbidden land exchanged glances. They moved and flew over. Chapter 3991. What are they doing? The barbarian saint flew over and swept his gaze across Liu Yu and Wang Xian. His eyes were shining. Hey, senior brother, this Saint Wang Xian seems to have made a breakthrough again. At this time, the Holy Virgin of Innocent Forbidden Land looked at Wang Xian. A treasure on her wrist was glowing as she exclaimed in surprise. Should be. This Wang Xian saint is a monster. He must have encountered many great opportunities, and his combat power is very strong. The barbarian saint nodded, his gaze landing on Long Yinhao and the others, a questioning look in his eyes. The barbarian saint, Liu Yu, and big brother Wang Xian are preparing to break the demonic pillar and obtain the treasures and corpses inside. Long Yinhao said immediately when he saw the barbarian saint's gaze. Long Yinhao didn't dare to be rash against the strongest saint in the sword and sorcery universe. Do they have a way to break the demonic pillar? The barbarian saint narrowed his eyes and asked with a burning gaze. Liu Yu said she has a way to break it with our big brother Wang Xian's help. Long Yinyan replied. They had just arrived and didn't know what the corpses inside the demonic pillar represented. They didn't know what was so precious about them. We can break it. The barbarian saint's eyes shone. They stood at the side and stared at it. The flowing water forbidden land was here, and no one dared to break the demonic pillar. The omniscient forbidden land wouldn't disturb them either. Time passed quickly. However, after 5 hours, the entire demonic pillar emitted a unique energy. The energy barrier on the demonic pillar began to dissipate gradually. Wang Xian opened his eyes and looked up. We did it. Liu Yu, who was at the side, was thrilled. She stared at the demonic pillar that had been broken open. Her body was trembling slightly. We did it. We really did it. What a fast speed. The will of this Wang Xian saint is so terrifying. We did it in just a few hours. I thought it would take a few days. A disciple from the flowing water forbidden zone said with a fervent gaze. Although they wouldn't be able to obtain these demonic pillars, they would definitely be able to obtain a lot of reward. Let's continue. I'll take the corpses and treasures in this demonic pillar. The next one belongs to your flowing water forbidden area. Holy Maiden Liu Yu, you can choose one of the 2 demonic pillars. Wang Xian moved and came to the top of the demonic pillar. With a wave of his arm, he kept the corpse. The Liu Yu Holy Maiden nodded when she saw this scene and heard his words. A smile appeared on her face. All right, Saint Wang Xian. It's a pleasure working with you. I'll take this water-type demonic pillar then. Happy cooperation. Wang Xian smiled, looked at the demonic pillar that Saintess Liu Yu was pointing at and nodded his head. Saintess Liu Yu, what method is this? Seeing this, the barbarian saint moved and flew towards Liu Yu Saintess with a burning gaze. He stared at her and then at Wang Xian, who was beside her. It's a unique method of the flowing water forbidden land. Of course, the main reason is that we have Saint Wang Xian to resist the impact of the will. Saintess Liu Yu smiled at him. If you want to open the next demonic pillar, Saint Wang Xian will have to take 2 of the treasures from the corpses in the demonic pillars. As for us, we will also need some resources to exchange for them. The barbarian saint can send a message to the seniors in your silence forbidden land. Let them talk to the seniors in our flowing water forbidden land. Saintess Liu Yu said to him with a smile. Radiance flickered in the eyes of the barbarian saint as he nodded his head without hesitation. All right, No problem. Saintess Liu Yu nodded her head and looked at Wang Xian. Let's continue, Saint Wang Xian. Sure. They moved and came to another demonic pillar. The flowing water forbidden land and Wang Xian worked together to break the demonic pillar. This is incredible. SSS, what method did they use to break the demonic pillar? Doesn't that mean they can break all the remaining demonic pillars? All the saints and saintesses of the forbidden lands and sacred lands flew over and watched the scene in shock. Wang Xian and the rest ignored the astonishment around them and continued to break the second water attribute demonic pillar. After a few hours, they broke the demonic pillar easily. Saintess Liu Yu flew over excitedly and collected all the corpses and treasures. Next, the third water attribute demonic pillar was easily broken by Wang Xian and the rest. Wang Xian collected all the corpses and treasures. Yinyin, Yinhao, these 2 corpses are for you. After getting the 2 corpses, Wang Xian immediately threw them to Long Yinyin and Long Yinhao. Brother Wang Xian. No. No way. These are for us. Long Yinhao's eyes went wide with astonishment as he looked at a corpse that flew to his side, which had been around for eons. Long Yinyin, who was beside him, was also shocked. They didn't understand these corpses at first. But after a few hours, hearing the exclamations and discussions of the saints and saintesses of the other sacred lands and forbidden lands, they completely understood the effects and abilities of these corpses. Because of the uniqueness of the death of the experts in the demonic pillar, and because they were sealed. All of their essence, spirit, and spirit were locked within the demonic pillar. Within the corpses, there were fragments of their spirit, as well as the understanding of the experts. As long as the corpse was placed beside one to cultivate, there was a high chance that one could absorb everything that the expert had learned when he was alive. What was this? This was an existence even more powerful and precious than the sword bowl magic mantle. Moreover, the sword bowl magic mantle had different levels. There weren't many sword bowl magic mantras at the pinnacle of the universe Lord realm in the entire universe. But the corpses in the demonic pillars were several times more precious than the sword bowl magic mantle of the pinnacle of the universe Lord realm. And now, Wang Xian had given this terrifying inheritance to them. This was no different from giving them a meteoric rise. Giving them the capital to step into the pinnacle of the universe Lord realm in the future. Giving them the opportunity to become the pinnacle of the universe Lord realm in the future. If I don't give it to you, what's the use of me keeping it? Hearing Long Yinhao's exclamation, Wang Xian smiled and said, quickly absorb the energy and essence of this corpse. Once we leave this universe ruin, it won't be safe anymore. It's a crime to be greedy, but as long as you absorb all of it, there won't be a problem. After absorbing this corpse, you have a chance to step into the pinnacle of the universe Lord realm. Chapter 3992. This Saint Wang Xian actually gave the 2 corpses to his junior brother and junior sister in the Dragon Roar Forbidden Ground. This is a great opportunity. For the Dragon Roar Forbidden Ground, they don't even have the qualifications to obtain treasures of such a level. What kind of opportunity is this? If I remember correctly, Wang Xian joined the Dragon Roar Forbidden Ground halfway, and now he actually gave them such terrifying opportunities. I'm afraid if Wang Xian was willing, he could exchange these 2 corpses for an identity no weaker than the saints and saintesses of the flowing water forbidden ground. In the surrounding area, the saints and saintesses of the other forbidden grounds saw this scene, their eyes blazing with passion. The jealousy and envy in their eyes were not concealed in the slightest. This kind of opportunity, even for the saints and saintesses of the flowing water forbidden ground, was incomparably huge. It was also something they didn't dare to ask for. And now they, 2 disciples at the pinnacle of the universe venerable realm, could obtain it. This, the heavenly Tao, was simply unfair. Especially the saint of the flowing water forbidden ground. When he heard Wang Xian's words, he did not conceal the jealousy and greed in his eyes. His breathing was a little ragged. Even he hadn't obtained a treasure of this level. And it was actually obtained by 2 people of a much lower status than him, and much weaker than him. He was a little indignant. Brother Wang Xian, we, Long Yinyin and Long Yinhao, were both stunned, their mouths agape, their faces still filled with shock. These 2 corpses, to put it bluntly. If they were obtained by the dragon roar forbidden ground, if they weren't in this universe ruin. In that case, these two corpses could bring a calamity to the dragon roar forbidden land. Yes, it was that terrifying. At present, the dragon roar forbidden ground had yet to produce a pinnacle universe lord realm expert. And these two corpses could allow an extremely talented disciple to have a 50% chance of reaching the pinnacle universe lord realm. Although it wasn't 100%, it was already very terrifying. The pinnacle universe lord realm was the pinnacle expert of the entire universe. Other than Tian Yuan creation, it was the strongest existence. And now, a huge opportunity had fallen upon them. Hehe, I'll find a place to absorb it later. He turned to Saintess Liu Yu beside him and said, Saintess Liu Yu, hurry up and negotiate with the other sacred grounds and forbidden grounds. Once the negotiations are done, we will break all the remaining demonic pillars. All right. Saintess Liu's eyes flickered as she looked at Wang Xian and then at Long Yinyan and her brother. She also revealed a tinge of envy. Holy sons and holy daughters, we will break the remaining demonic pillars. Apart from the metal-type demonic pillars, you can trade with us for the rest. Get your seniors to contact our seniors from the flowing water forbidden zone. The highest bidder will get it. Also, let me remind you that 2 treasures from every expert's corpse will belong to Saint Wang Xian. He can choose first. Liu Yu Holy Maiden said to all the holy sons and holy maidens. His words filled the faces of the holy sons and holy maidens with excitement. A wind attribute magic pillar. If we can absorb it, immediately contact the elders of our forbidden lands and have them talk to the flowing water forbidden land. All the legacies of pinnacle sovereigns. I hope the Sacred Institute can come to an agreement with the flowing water forbidden land. Excited voices sounded. Wang Xian's eyes flickered slightly when he saw this. Saintess Liu Yu, since we are in the universe ruins, can we send resources here from the outside? He couldn't help but ask Saintess Liu Yu. That's not possible. Saintess Liu Yu shook her head. Wang Xian's eyes flickered slightly as an idea formed in his mind. He didn't want all the treasures in the demonic pillars for his own use. He didn't lack treasures now. His main purpose was to exchange these treasures for resources to enhance his physical body. Apart from the water-type demonic pillar from the flowing water forbidden zone and the space-type demonic pillar that he had obtained, he could also choose 2 of the treasures from the 10 corpses of the experts in the flowing water forbidden zone. That would make 20 of them, and these 20 items were the strongest treasures of a pinnacle sovereign realm expert. Treasures of this level were extremely precious even for a pinnacle sovereign realm expert. If these treasures were exchanged for resources, Wang Xian's physical body would have an 80% chance of achieving another breakthrough. Yes, as long as Wang Xian achieved another breakthrough, his strength would be unimaginably terrifying. Target the Heaven Yuan creation realm? It might be difficult. But he was already above the sovereign realm. With a plan in mind, he looked around. Roving Sword was also around, but the 2 of them had concealed their relationship for the time being. Saint Roving Sword, please come over. I have something to discuss. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment before speaking to Roving Sword. Upon hearing Wang Xian, Roving Sword cupped his fist and flew towards him immediately. The 2 of them flew to the side. What's the relationship between the Saint of the Void Dragon Forbidden Zone and Saint Wang Xian? It seems like the Saint of the Void Dragon Forbidden Zone is respectful to Saint Wang Xian. What's going on? I don't know. Do they know each other? What's their relationship? When the surrounding saints and saintesses saw Wang Xian and Roving Sword walking to the side, they were shocked. They were the 2 strongest dark horses in this round's outstanding role. One was Saint Roving Sword of the Void Dragon Sacred Land. The other was Saint Wang Xian of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Zone. These 2 were absolute dark horses. Extremely terrifying dark horses. Now it seemed like they knew each other. This made them extremely curious. Our Saint Wang Xian knows the Saint of the Void Dragon Forbidden Zone? How did they know each other? Yeah, what's going on? The disciples of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Zone were also a little surprised to see this. Long Yinyan and Long Yinhao were also a little surprised, their faces filled with curiosity and contemplation. Big brother Wang Xian must have seen the experts and disciples of the Void Dragon Forbidden Zone in the Sacred Moon. Long Yinhao guessed. Yeah, it's highly possible. Long Yinyin nodded as well. However, they did not suspect Wang Xian of anything. What a joke. The two corpses that Wang Xian had given them were more precious than the entire Dragon Roar Forbidden Zone. What was Wang Xian after in the Dragon Roar Forbidden Zone? That was impossible. The saints and saintesses of the Flowing Water Forbidden Zone and Innocence Forbidden Zone saw Wang Xian and Roving Sword walking to the side, and their eyes flickered. They were guessing the relationship between them. After all, Wang Xian and Roving Sword were existences that had obtained, or were about to obtain, the legacy of the corpses within the demonic columns. They might become top-notch experts in the future. They had to take them seriously. Chapter 3993, Dragon King, what can I do for you? At the side, Roving Sword looked at Wang Xian and transmitted his voice to him respectfully. Next, I'll trade the treasures I've obtained with the Sacred Institute of the Forbidden Grounds. After the trade, I'll have the Draconic Dragon receive the resources. Now, let's not reveal our identities for now, Wang Xian told Roving Sword. After all, they did not belong to this universe. In order to prevent being targeted, Wang Xian decided to be more careful. All the treasures were traded in this universe ruin and handed over to the saints and saintesses of the Sacred Grounds and Forbidden Grounds. Then, the Mystic Dragon would take the resources first. Wang Xian's main body went out to retrieve it. This way, the transaction could be guaranteed to go smoothly. If he were to conduct the transaction outside, Wang Xian was afraid that some powerful Forbidden Grounds and Sacred Grounds would covet it. Just in case, this was also the best way. Yes, Dragon King. Dragon King, in what capacity shall we get along from now on? Roving Sword nodded and asked. Let's just pretend that we met in the Sacred Moon. The master of the Void Dragon Forbidden Land and I also met, said Wang Xian. Roving Sword nodded. He moved and flew to the side. Big brother Wang Xian, do you know Roving Sword Saint from the Void Dragon Forbidden Ground? Long Yinhao asked curiously when he saw Wang Xian flying over. Yes, I met him in the Holy Moon. I also met the Lord of the Void Dragon Forbidden Land. Of course, I only found out about it later. Wang Xian did not hide anything as he replied with a smile. Holy Lady Liu Yu, we've already reached an agreement with your Flowing Water Forbidden Land. We want the fire, wind, and thunder demonic pillars. At this moment, the barbarian saint received a message and spoke to Liu Yu Saintess. Yeah, I've also received the message. Saintess Liu Yu nodded her head. She turned to Wang Xian and said, sorry to trouble you, Saint Wang Xian. We're just working together. Wang Xian shook his head. The group moved and came before the wind attribute demonic pillar. Then, he continued to decipher the demonic pillars. One by one, the demonic pillars were broken. Wang Xian was the first to arrive before the corpses and took away two treasures. A weapon that could be used by a universe ruler realm expert was not simple. It was especially so for the two items that Wang Xian had chosen first. Each and every one of them was a rare existence. This made Wang Xian's gains extremely terrifying. By the time he broke these three demonic pillars, the ownership of the other demonic pillars had already been negotiated. As for the other forbidden lands, the Sacred Institute and the Flowing Water Forbidden Land had reached an agreement. The 12 demonic pillars were broken one by one. He was the last one. This made the saints and saintesses who had obtained the corpses in the demonic pillars extremely excited. To them, this was an incomparably huge opportunity. They could become top-notch experts. Saintess Liu Yu, I have a request. Could you get the seniors in your tribe to contact the experts of the Void Dragon Forbidden Ground? We would like to make a deal with Saint Wang Xian. Roving Sword cupped his hands towards Liu Yu Saintess after all the demonic pillars had been destroyed. No problem. What kind of deal does the Void Dragon Sacred Ground want with you? Liu Yu Saintess said very politely. We would like to exchange all the treasures in the hands of Saint Wang Xian for resources and trade with the powerful Sacred Grounds and Forbidden Grounds. Roving Sword answered. You want to trade all the treasures of the experts that Saint Wang Xian has obtained? Liu Yu Saint's eyes narrowed as she looked at Wang Xian. Yes. I have so many resources in my hands. Naturally, I want to exchange them for things that are useful to me. Otherwise, they will be coveted by other experts. Wang Xian smiled and nodded his head. All right, I'll contact the two of you immediately. Liu Yu Saint's eyes flickered. All of them had seen the treasures that Wang Xian had obtained. Some of the treasures were indeed extremely powerful. There were the magic staffs, sharp swords, and the protective clothing that these experts were wearing. These were top-notch treasures in any of the forbidden grounds. Naturally, they wanted to obtain them and trade with them. In the surroundings, the disciples of the Sacred Academy and the Forbidden Lands immediately spread the news to the senior experts of the Sacred Academy and the Forbidden Lands. After settling the matters, Wang Xian went to the side. Yin, Yinhao, I'll set up a barrier for you. You can start cultivating inside. Strive to raise your strength to the Third Order or Fourth Order Universe Lord Realm in the next 80 million years, Wang Xian said to Long Yin and Long Yinhao. With the corpses of the experts and the dense energy here, next, their strength would experience a period of explosive growth. It shouldn't be a problem to raise a few levels in 80 million years. Thank you, big brother Wang Xian. Long Yinin's eyes flickered as he thanked Wang Xian. Wang Xian smiled and shook his head. With a wave of his palm, space swords appeared one after another. The space swords rose and formed a terrifying sword shroud space. You guys can cultivate inside now. I'll also cultivate inside after I'm done with some matters, Wang Xian said to them as he swept his gaze across the disciples of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Grounds. You guys can cultivate around here. Yes, Saint Wang Xian, the disciples answered respectfully. Now, they were exceptionally respectful to Wang Xian. Not to mention, even Saintess Liu Yu and Barbarian Saint were polite to Wang Xian. Wang Xian had taken out 2 corpses and given one to each of the Saint and Saintess of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Grounds. Such an act was worthy of their respect. Wang Xian settled the matters of Long Yinyin and the rest and waited. Waiting for the time to come. Saint Wang Xian, we've helped you to contact the experts of the Void Dragon Forbidden Grounds. Saint Wang Xian, are you going to sell all the treasures you have? Saintess Liu Yu asked Wang Xian and Raw Sword a few days later. Yes, all of them. We'll pass the treasures to the saints and saintesses of the Forbidden Grounds after the Sacred Institute purchases it. Wang Xian nodded his head and replied. The transaction will take place in 4,000 years. We, the Void Dragon Forbidden Grounds, need to make some preparations, Roving Sword said from the side. All right, I'll pass on your message. Saintess Liu Yu nodded her head. The transaction was set to take place 4,000 years later because Enlai would come after 4,000 years. At that time, he would bring Wang Xian's real body away from the ruins of the universe. His real body would leave this space to prevent any accidents from happening during the transaction. In addition, once the transaction was successful, Wang Xian's real body would absorb it immediately. Chapter 3994, Holy Son Wang Xian, the obscene Forbidden Land wants 5 treasures. Holy Son Wang Xian, the flowing water Forbidden Land wants 4 treasures. More than 4,000 years passed by quickly. Within the universe ruins, the disciples of the Sacred Grounds and the Sacred Institute were trading with Wang Xian. Wang Xian passed the treasures to them. At the same time, within Tianyuan City, the 2 black dragon species collected all the resources traded by the Sacred Institute. There were a total of 20 treasures. Each of them was the strongest weapon used by a pinnacle universe lord expert. These were definitely top-notch treasures. The value of such treasures was terrifying. The resources traded were enough to enhance Wang Xian's strength. Let's go. After the transaction was completed, the 2 succubus dragons immediately flew in one direction. Let's go. When they reached a certain spot, Wang Xian sensed the surroundings. His mind flickered as he gave an order to Enlai. Wang. In the next second, their figures disappeared without a trace. After sending the 2 black dragon species back to the Void Dragon Forbidden Land, Wang Xian ordered Enlai to bring him back to the Void Tower in the middle of the universe ruins. Where did this Void Dragon Forbidden Land come from? We've been searching for some time, but we didn't find any information or clues. We didn't even find the leader of the Void Dragon sacred ground. At the same time, in a grand hall in Tianyuan City, a group of experts from the sacred grounds were sitting inside. Among them, there were more than 20 Pinnacle Universe Lord expert. A Pinnacle Universe Lord expert from the Void Dragon Forbidden Land couldn't help but ask. I don't know. They seem to have appeared out of nowhere. However, the experts in the Void Dragon Forbidden Land aren't top-notch, but their disciples are very strong. They seem to have mastered powerful sword techniques. An old man from the sacred ground with a huge sword on his back shook his head, a puzzled look on his face. He couldn't help but look at the experts from the Flowing Water Forbidden Land and the Obscene Forbidden Land in the center. The Void Dragon Forbidden Land was originally out of their sight. But this time, there were a total of 20 Pinnacle Universe Lord Supreme treasures, allowing the Void Dragon Forbidden Land to obtain a large amount of resources. This amount of resources was extremely huge for any of the Forbidden Grounds and Sacred Grounds present. Obtaining such powerful resources naturally attracted their attention. In fact, some of the Forbidden Lands and Sacred Academies even had other ideas. This Forbidden Land of the Void Dragon is indeed very mysterious. I wonder where it came from. It must have come from some sealed treasure ground. An old woman from the Flowing Water Forbidden Zone said indifferently. They did not suspect that the Void Dragon Forbidden Land originated from another universe. This idea had never even been born. This was because they knew that before the cataclysm began, there would be a strong repulsive force between the universes. When experts from other universes enter this place, they will suffer a terrifying suppression. Moreover, they could also sense that the other party was not an expert from their sword and magic universe. No matter what, it's a good thing that our sword and magic universe has a powerful force. Then, he stood up and said, I still have matters to attend to. I'll take my leave for now. With that, the elder from the obsequious Forbidden Land vanished. The old woman from the Flowing Water Forbidden Land also cupped her hands and disappeared. The obsequious Forbidden Land and the Flowing Water Forbidden Land were the only Forbidden Lands in the universe that possessed the creation stage of Tianyuan. They had the will of the creation stage experts. At the level of the creation stage of Tianyuan, what they saw was no longer the difference between the sacred grounds and the sacred grounds. It was the entire sword and magic universe. It was the multiverse. Otherwise, given their strength, there would be no other sacred grounds or sacred academies in the entire sword and magic universe. They would all belong to the two Forbidden Lands. The obsequious Forbidden Land and the Flowing Water Forbidden Land had also inherited the will of the creation stage of Tianyuan. Under normal circumstances, they would not bully the other Forbidden Lands and sacred grounds. This also contributed to the two Forbidden Lands' extraordinary status. After the experts from the two Forbidden Lands left, the experts from the other Forbidden Lands and sacred grounds glanced at each other and left immediately, each with their own thought. As for what they were going to do, only they knew. Those resources were enough for the experts from the sacred grounds to make a move. Wang Xian did not know what was going on here. However, when he came to the Void Tower, he reminded the Phantom Dragon and the others to be careful. Wang Xian still understood the principle of possessing a treasure being a crime. At this moment, Wang Xian wasn't too worried about the Void Dragon Forbidden Ground. Now that he had obtained powerful resources, his strength was enough for him to improve once again. Wang Xian transformed into his divine dragon form and entrenched himself in the Void Tower. He looked at the resources in front of him and revealed a faint smile. Absorb. Absorb quickly. A large amount of resources entered his body, causing his dragon energy to increase rapidly. As time passed, the energy in his body became thicker and thicker. A series of dragon roars rang out around him out of nowhere. These dragon roars seemed to come from the void, from the unknown. Just as Wang Xian was about to break through, illusions of divine dragons appeared around him. There were a total of 9 illusions of divine dragons circling above Wang Xian continuously. Slowly, the 9 divine dragons fused together. Wang Xian sensed the changes in his surroundings and his eyes flickered. The last time he broke through, he did not cause such a huge commotion. This time around, the momentum of the breakthrough was shocking. If they weren't in the Void Pagoda, It would have caused a huge earthquake. Even so, the entire interior of the Void Tower was shrouded in 9-colored energy. It filled every space. Even the powerful Void Pagoda was slightly fragile in front of this 9-colored light. Ding! Congratulations on breaking through to the 6th Order Universe Sovereign Realm. Ding! Congratulations to host for breaking through. The 9-origin dragon domain has been strengthened. At this time, the voice of the system sounded. The divine dragon above Wang Xian gradually entered his body. The 9-colored radiance merged into one, causing the color of Wang Xian's body to look extremely strange. It was dark gold in color. But his dragon horn was like a diamond, it looked incomparably transparent. An extremely terrifying power surged out from his body. His entire body looked incomparably majestic. Sensing the energy contained within his body, Wang Xian was thrilled. He broke through. 6th Order Universe Sovereign Realm. His current strength was already above that of a universe ruler. Yes, above the universe ruler. Higher than the pinnacle universe ruler realm. Chapter 3995. Now, he had no idea how strong Wang Xian was. Without the help of the Heaven Origin Fortune Fragment, he could easily kill a universe ruler realm expert. With a thought, Wang Xian looked at his attributes. Name, Wang Xian. Race, 9 Origins Divine Dragon, 1 with the Dragon. Rank, 6th Order Universe Ruler, 9 transformations return to 1, Origin. 1%, 99% required for next breakthrough. Magic, dominate the aquatic creatures. Dominate any aquatic creatures lower than your own level. Devour living things to extract the source. Control of the 5 elements cultivation technique. Divine Dragon Transformation Divine Powers. Soul Capture, Spirit Attachment Nomological Divine Abilities. Dragon Eye Lock, 5 elements Dragon Claw, Yin Yang World Breaker, 8 Luminaries Dragon Scale, Holy Dragon Shadow, 8 Divisions of the Heavenly Dragon, Dragon Tomb, Soaring Cloud Dragon, True Dragon Bodilore of Dharma, 8 Directional Dragon Pillar, 8 Dragon Clone, Towering Dragon Horn, Great Mighty Heavenly Dragon, Godly Tail Playing with Pearls, Dragon Breath of Life, Shadow Dragon Clone, Dark Dragon Pursuit, Dark Dragon Transformation, Wind Thunder Dragon Life, Berserk Dragon. Star Burst. Domain, 9 Origin Dragon Domain Law of Mastery, Metal, Wood, Water, Fire, Earth, Light, Darkness, Wind, Lightning Divine Kingdom, Dragon Palace Possess Dragon Palace, Innate. Dragon Palace Members, 80600450. Looking at his message, a smile appeared on his face. Other than these attributes, Wang Xian currently had 2 Heavenly Yuan fragments, the Galaxy Lock Piece and the Book of Water Forbidden Curse. Apart from these 2 treasures, there was also the Black Spider Lily. This was also a very powerful and terrifying treasure. He could return to the state of a few seconds ago. It was extremely terrifying. As for the 5 elements Grindstone and the Taiji Dragon Coil, they were still at the 9th Order Universe Sovereign Realm. He hadn't been able to upgrade it. With the increase in strength, Wang Xian would be able to establish his clan in this universe. A smile appeared on his face. With a thought, Wang Xian, Long Yinhao, and Long Yinhao were cultivating in the same sword shield in the Void Divine Dragon's body. With that corpse and the intensity of the energy here, Wang Xian would be able to get a significant boost. He began to upgrade his Void Divine Dragon body with all his might. The body of the Void Divine Dragon would be a powerful trump card for Wang Xian when it matured in the future. The power of space was indeed terrifying. In terms of teleportation, it was extremely terrifying when it came to escaping and chasing the enemy. In the remaining time, Wang Xian began to cultivate in the universe ruins. Time passed day by day. 5,000 years later, Enlai flew over and reported a piece of news. This news did not come from the Dragon Palace, but from the Void Dragon Forbidden Land. The Forbidden Land of the Void had been attacked by unknown expert. Furthermore, they were transmitted into the Sacred Moon. The instant the expert attacked, the Charm Dragon was teleported out of the Saint Moon. Indeed, the huge amount of resources has attracted the covetous eyes of some Forbidden Lands and Holy Lands. I wonder which Forbidden Land or Holy Land did this. It shouldn't be the Flowing Water Forbidden Land or the Thoughtful Forbidden Land. Wang Xian mumbled to himself after receiving the news. Given their strength, There was no need for them to do such a thing to the thoughtful Forbidden Land and the flowing water Forbidden Land. All the other forbidden grounds with peak universe ruler realm experts were also possible. Although Wang Xian had expected this, the ambush still made him feel a faint murderous intent. However, Wang Xian did not know who the culprit was, and he had no way of taking revenge. Keep a low profile. Unless Wang Xian felt that he had the strength to go against the creation realm of Heavenly Yuan, he wouldn't go and massacre the entire sect. That would be too high profile, and he might be targeted by the creation realm experts. So he put this matter aside for the time being. For the next tens of millions of years, Wang Xian continued to cultivate. 40 million years later, Wang Xian's void dragon body broke through again, reaching the fifth-order universe ruler realm. The strength of a fifth-order universe ruler realm was already very terrifying. All disciples, get ready to come out. 80 million years passed in the blink of an eye. On this day, a mighty voice suddenly rang out in the center of the universe ruins. All the disciples hurriedly opened their eyes when they heard this voice. The time of 100 million years was up. They were about to leave. Wang Xian opened his eyes and heaved a sigh of relief. He swept his gaze across the surroundings. According to his senses, the energy in the ruins of the universe had decreased a lot compared to the beginning. His gaze fell to the side. Long Yinyan and Long Yinhao had also opened their eyes. Both of them had broken through to the third-order universe ruler realm. In these 100 million years, their improvement in strength was very terrifying. Most importantly, it was because of that corpse. Now, that expert's corpse had already turned into ashes. The fragments that supported his energy and spirit had all been absorbed. Big brother Wang Xian, we're going out. Long Yinyan looked at Wang Xian and said with a face full of smiles. Big brother Wang Xian, I've advanced to the third-order universe sovereign realm. Ha ha ha, third-order universe sovereign realm. I'm the most impressive saint in our roaring dragon forbidden land. Ha ha, if my parents and grandfather knew about this, they would definitely be shocked. Long Yinhao stood up to the side, his face full of excitement as he spoke. To improve to this level in 100 million years, this was something they dared not imagine. According to their thinking, to be able to break through to the second-order universe ruler realm was already heaven-defying luck. Now that they were in the third-order universe ruler realm, their future path was clear in their minds. There was a great possibility of stepping into the peak universe ruler realm. This was a realm that none of the experts in the Roaring Dragon Forbidden Ground had stepped into. Haha, not bad. Wang Xian smiled and nodded at them. Big brother Wang Xian, what's your strength now? Long Yinyan asked Wang Xian. The fifth order universe ruler realm. My improvement now requires a lot more time. Wang Xian answered with a smile. The fifth order universe ruler realm, and space attribute at that. This is considered one of the stronger ones in our Roaring Dragon Forbidden Ground. Big brother, you're still the best. We'll probably need a few 100 million years to step into the fifth order universe ruler realm, especially after we leave this place, Long Yinyan said with admiration. There's no hurry. There are still a few billion years before the cataclysm arrives. You guys have enough time. Alright, let's go out. As Wang Xian spoke, he waved his arm and the sword shield disappeared. In the surrounding area, some disciples of the Roaring Dragon Forbidden Ground had already stood up. Wang Xian swept a glance at them. Most of them had reached the peak universe ruler realm. Only 2 of them had not reached it because their cultivation levels were lower when they came, but this was unimaginable in the past. Cultivating here was better than cultivating in the Roaring Dragon Forbidden Ground. Lord Saint, Saintess. A group of disciples shouted happily when they saw them. Let's go. Wang Xian nodded at them. Chapter 3996, Wang Xian, Saint. Wang Xian, Saint. Wang Xian led Long Yinyan and the rest towards the first level of the universe ruins. Around them, some saints, saintesses, and geniuses greeted him with gleaming eyes. Although Wang Xian had kept a low profile in the universe ruins, he had destroyed the 12 demonic pillars and traded a large number of treasures. His strength was already comparable to innocent saint and saintess Liu Shui tens of millions of years ago. The rest of the holy sons and holy daughters greeted him warmly when they saw him. After all, Wang Xian had obtained the corpse of a space attribute expert. With his terrifying talent and the resources he had, it was almost certain that he would reach the pinnacle of the Universe Lord realm. Even those saints and saintesses from the top 10 forbidden grounds and sacred academies had a tinge of respect for Wang Xian. To them, Wang Xian was the future pinnacle expert of the entire universe. Wang Xian nodded his head plainly at them and continued flying forward. They arrived at the first level, where they had entered. All the saints, saintesses, and geniuses were already there. He looked around and saw that not many geniuses had died here. The universe ruins were still very safe. At the front of the center, the disciples of innocent forbidden ground and flowing water forbidden ground stood there. At the front were the barbarian saint and saintess Liu Shui. Both of them seemed to sense Wang Xian's arrival and looked over. Their eyes fell on Wang Xian with gleaming eyes. Congratulations on breaking through again, Wang Xian. You're really amazing. Honest Saint could sense Wang Xian's current strength. A tinge of astonishment flashed in his eyes as he exclaimed in surprise, "Didn't you break through too, boundless Saint?" He. Wang Xian's eyes fell on the barbarian saint. He had broken through to the 6th Order Universe Lord realm. I only broke through one level after coming to the universe ruins, unlike Wang Xian, who broke through 2 levels. The barbarian saint smiled. Wang Xian's strength is no weaker than ours now. Saintess Liu Shui also smiled faintly. Wang Xian smiled and led the disciples of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Ground to the front. Wang Xian, there will be actions and things to do. If there's a chance, let's work together. The barbarian saint looked at Wang Xian and continued. Oh! Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and revealed a curious look. What's next? Regarding the magical beast abyss, we've only heard about it from some seniors in the Forbidden Land. We don't know the specifics yet. Innocent Saint said with a smile. I've also heard about it. Before the cataclysm arrives, we have to get rid of the devil beast abyss, completely eliminate the internal threat, and welcome the arrival of the cataclysm. Liu Yu Saintess said. Deal with the magical beast abyss. Speaking of which, I haven't been to the magical beast abyss yet. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he spoke. Saint Wang Xian will be heading over soon. All of us will be participating in the battle and entering it. Honest Saint said to him. This involved the decision of the experts of the Sacred Institute of the Forbidden Lands. The two of them didn't say much, and Wang Xian didn't probe further. He should be able to find out once he got out of here. This Saint Wang Xian is actually on an equal footing with Liu Yu Saintess and Honest Saint now. He's really incredible. This Saint Wang Xian has already reached the 5th Order Universe Sovereign Realm. His cultivation speed is really terrifying. Space attribute, 5th Order Universe Sovereign Realm. In addition, he has a large number of treasures and resources, and has absorbed the spiritual will of a space attribute top-notch expert from the previous cataclysm. He has inherited the legacy. In the future, as long as Wang Xian doesn't die, he'll definitely be the top-notch expert in our universe. Yeah, because of the space attribute, Liu Yu Saintess and Honest Saint might not be as strong as Wang Xian in the future. It's only right for the two of them to be on good terms with Wang Xian. In the surroundings, the successors, saintesses, and elite disciples were all astonished when they saw this scene. One should know that Liu Yu Saintess and Honest Saint were the most elite existences in the 2 Forbidden Lands. Even if it was Shu Ni from the Forbidden Land of Space, these 2 saints wouldn't show any respect. They wouldn't even greet him. This saint from the Dragon Roar Forbidden Ground was able to make them treat him like this. This shocked everyone. Even the saintess of the innocent Forbidden Land and the saint from the Flowing Water Forbidden Land didn't interrupt. It could be said that in this current generation, Liu Yu Saintess, Barbarian Saint, and Wang Xian were on the same level. The passageway is opening. Wang Xian chatted with the two of them. Before long, a passageway appeared in front of them. Everyone, get out in 10 seconds. Honest Saint said. He gestured to Wang Xian, Liu Yu Saintess, and the rest before flying ahead. Wang Xian and the rest also flew out immediately. Soon, the image in front of them changed. They returned to the place where they came in. You're all out. Let's go. Two pinnacle sovereigns from the innocent Forbidden Land and the flowing water Forbidden Land were waiting at the side. His gaze swept across them, and with a wave of his arm, he led them away quickly. Soon, they arrived at Tianyuan Peak again. What surprised Wang Xian and the rest was that within Tianyuan Peak, a large number of experts from all the sacred lands and sacred schools were gathered. In fact, the number of experts in the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land was even greater than when they had been sent here. At the very front, an old man sat there, his body exuding a trace of a powerful aura. Level 9 Universe Sovereign Realm. Is this the founder of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land? Wang Xian's gaze swept across the old man as he guessed. And the reason why experts from the sacred lands and sacred schools were gathered here again should be related to the Devil Beast Abyss. According to the news from Honest Saint and Liu Yu Saintus, next, they would have to deal with the threat of the Devil Beast Abyss. Not bad, not bad. This time, everyone has improved well. The opportunities are not bad too. Wang Xian and the rest of the disciples were brought to Tianyuan Peak. An old lady sitting in the middle said plainly, "Indeed, not bad. The demonic pillar that has not been broken for over 20 billion years was broken by you guys. Before the cataclysm erupts, this will bring many experts to our sword and sorcery universe." An old woman from the omniscient Forbidden Land nodded as well. Their gazes fell on Wang Xian and the rest. They all knew about what had happened in the universe ruins. They also knew which disciples had absorbed the corpses of the experts in the demonic pillar. Cultivate well. Don't waste the treasures of our universe's previous cataclysm seniors. Inherit their will and protect our sword and sorcery universe. Another expert from the Holy Land spoke up from the side. The Invincible Divine Dragon Cultivation System's error-free chapter would continue to be updated. Chapter 3997. Yes, Senior. We will definitely inherit Senior's will and guard our universe of swords and sorcery. The barbarian saint, Liu Yu Saintus, and a few other disciples who had absorbed the corpses in the demonic pillars bowed immediately. Yes, Senior. We will definitely inherit Senior's will and guard our universe of swords and sorcery. Long Yinyan and Long Yinhao quickly bowed when they saw this. What's a demonic pillar? How can it bring many experts to our universe? It must be a very powerful inheritance to make the experts of the flowing water Forbidden Ground and unforgiving Forbidden Ground say such words. It can raise the disciples to the pinnacle universe Lord realm. There are indeed great opportunities in this universe ruin. The two Forbidden Grounds didn't manage to obtain the treasures before, but they did. What level of treasure is this? How can the two Forbidden Grounds value it so much? In the surroundings, some of the experts from the Forbidden Lands, Sacred Academies, who were not close to the front, had shocked expressions on their faces when they heard the commotion. They didn't know what had happened in the universe ruin. They also didn't have any special means to contact the disciples inside, but from the words of the experts from the two Forbidden Grounds, there should be some extremely precious treasures. At the Roaring Dragon Forbidden Ground, the founder of the Roaring Dragon Forbidden Ground, Long Yinhao's grandfather and parents, had also arrived. They were also very curious about the words of the pinnacle sovereigns of the Flowing Water Forbidden Ground and Unforgiving Forbidden Ground. But when they saw Long Yinyan and Long Yinhao bowing and speaking with the barbarian saint and Liu Yu Saintus, they were slightly taken aback, their faces filled with astonishment and shock. Just now, only a dozen saints and saintesses bowed in response to the words of the experts from the two Forbidden Grounds. The rest of the saints, saintesses, and supreme talents were all standing there, looking at Han Ziyi. Now, the two disciples from the Roaring Dragon Forbidden Ground also bowed in shock. What did this mean? The disciples of the Roaring Dragon Forbidden Ground had also obtained great opportunities. Swish swish. At this time, the group of saints, saintesses, and supreme talents flew towards their respective Forbidden Ground. Wang Xian followed Long Yinyan, Long Yinhao, and the rest. Yinyan, Yinhao, what happened? What opportunities did you obtain in the universe ruin? Long Yinyan and Long Yinhao's grandfather, the second elder, couldn't help but ask them, his eyes filled with anticipation. Grandpa, We have obtained a great opportunity this time. Big brother Wang Xian has given us a great opportunity. Long Yinhao immediately ran over, his face full of excitement as he spoke, full of incomparable excitement. What great opportunity! Hurry up and tell us. Also, how did your strength rise so quickly? How did you reach the third order universe sovereign realm? The second elder asked impatiently. Following that, Long Yinhao recounted everything that had happened in the universe ruins in full detail. When all the experts in the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land heard about the demonic pillar, the complete inheritance of the universe ruler realm expert, all of them were dumbfounded. What a great opportunity! To their Dragon Roar Forbidden Land, this was considered a great opportunity. Furthermore, this opportunity was obtained by 2 disciples of the Roaring Dragon Forbidden Land. Moreover, they were given to them by Wang Xian. What? If this level of opportunity was placed outside, the Roaring Dragon Forbidden Ground would not even dare to fight for it. Now, he had obtained 2 of them. This was unbelievable and unimaginable. At the side, the old man was also dumbfounded when he heard this. This kind of opportunity, you really obtained it. Good, good, good. The founder of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land could not help but roar in excitement. Old ancestor, it's all because of big brother Wang Xian. He worked with Liu Yu Saintus and gave us 2 corpses after breaking the demonic pillar. Long Yinyan answered with a happy face. Xiao Xian. The old ancestor of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land and all the experts looked at Wang Xian with shock and gratitude in their eyes. This level of opportunity was too great. Although Wang Xian was the saint of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land, he had only joined the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land for a little over 100 million years. To be able to give them such an opportunity was simply unimaginable. If this level of treasure was given to the Flowing Water Forbidden Land, they could totally join the Flowing Water Forbidden Land. Their status would probably be higher than the current saint and saintess. Xiao Xian, thank you, thank you. I didn't miss you. Long Yinyan and Long Yinhao's parents hurried over, not knowing how to thank him. Such a precious opportunity could not be exchanged even if they sold their entire Dragon Roar Forbidden Land. Seniors, you don't have to be so polite. Yinyan and Yinhao have already thanked me. I have no use for the corpses in the demonic pillar. Wang Xian looked at them and said with a smile, we still have to thank you properly. On behalf of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land and the Long family, I thank you, Xiao Xian. The old ancestor of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land could not help but bow to Wang Xian and express his gratitude. The opportunity was too great. They had to thank him. Wang Xian smiled and waved his hand. Heh! Old man Long. The luck of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land is really good. It's really heaven-defying. At this time, an old man looked over at the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land from a distance away. He did not hide the jealousy on his face. He glanced at Long Yinyan, Long Yinhao, and Wang Xian with deep envy. Hee hee. When the old ancestor of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land heard what the old man said, he only laughed foolishly. He did not have the demeanor of an expert. The luck of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land is really heaven-defying. It's not that he's heaven-defying. It's that the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land has unexpectedly accepted a disciple, Wang Xian. His strength is heaven-defying. He has already reached the 5th order universe sovereign realm, and he has the space attribute. He will definitely be a top-notch existence in our universe in the future. Damn, the luck of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land is too heaven-defying to let them pick up such a disciple. Damn, I'm so envious. In the surrounding area, the experts from the Forbidden Grounds, Sacred Grounds, and Sacred Institute had received all the news from the universe ruins. Their faces were filled with jealousy. Their gazes were a little fiery. In the universe ruins, there were a total of 10 top-notch inheritance opportunities. The Dragon Roar Forbidden Land had obtained 3. Excluding Wang Xian's saint, the disciples of the Long family of the Roaring Dragon Forbidden Ground had obtained 2. In the future, there was an 80% chance that a Pinnacle Sovereign Realm expert would be born. There was a 50% chance that 2 Pinnacle Sovereigns would be born. How could they not be envious? Moreover, the Flowing Water Forbidden Land had only obtained 1 inheritance opportunity from the demonic pillar, although they had obtained other powerful resources. But they had only obtained one inheritance opportunity. Only the thoughtful Forbidden Land and the flowing water Forbidden Land had obtained 3. Even so, they were only on par with the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land. Chapter 3998. Around Chenyuan Peak, the experts and disciples of the Forbidden Grounds looked in the direction of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land with jealousy. Their eyes were blazing, and they were a little red. This was too enviable. If Long Yinyin and Long Yinhao didn't die and continued to grow, then the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land would rise completely. Besides, the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land still had Wang Xian, an existence with heaven-defying talent. How could they not be envious? However, some were jealous, while others were filled with unwillingness. Over at the Space Forbidden Land, the saints and saintesses of the Space Forbidden Land stood in front of a group of experts. Their gazes swept over Wang Xian, revealing a hint of coldness. This time, they hadn't obtained any opportunities in the Space Forbidden Land. The space-type demonic pillar had been taken by Wang Xian, leaving them with nothing. Moreover, Wang Xian hadn't taken them seriously at all, which made them bear grudges and rage. Their Space Forbidden Land was ranked 3rd, and yet someone dared to look down on them? Apart from the saints and saintesses of the Space Forbidden Land and the geniuses of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land, the saints of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land also glanced darkly at Long Yinyin and Long Yinhao from time to time. His heart was filled with unwillingness. As the saint of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land, he actually hadn't obtained a water-type demonic pillar. Instead, it had been obtained by 2 people who were countless times weaker than him, and whose statuses couldn't even compare to his. He couldn't accept it. However, even if he couldn't accept it, he wasn't willing to show it. This time, the Flowing Water Forbidden Land had obtained a lot of benefits. The seniors in the Forbidden Land wouldn't burn the bridge after crossing it. Alright, I've called everyone here today because I have something to announce. This also concerns the plans and development of our entire universe. At that moment, an expert from the thoughtful Forbidden Land, who was in front of them, spoke up slowly. His voice traveled to everyone's ears. All the experts from the Forbidden Grounds and Sacred Institute heard it and immediately stopped talking, listening attentively. This time, the thoughtful Forbidden Land and the Flowing Water Forbidden Land had attracted all the experts from the Sacred Grounds and Forbidden Grounds. There must be something big to announce. Wang Xian sat beside the Patriarch of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land and looked over too. There are still over 3 billion years before the cataclysm arrives. Before that, we must make ample preparations to deal with it. Yes, to us, a very big hidden danger, the Devil Beast Abyss. Everyone only knows about the Devil Beast Abyss, but you probably don't know how it was formed, right? Yes, to us, there is a huge hidden danger, and that is the Magical Beast Abyss. All of you only know about the Magical Beast Abyss, but you probably don't know how it was formed, right? As the elder from the obscene Forbidden Land spoke, his gaze swept across everyone present. All the experts from the Forbidden Lands and Sacred Academies felt their hearts tremble when they heard this. Next, they might be able to touch upon the secrets of the entire universe. The abyss of demonic beasts is a terrifying domain formed from the blood of experts. This is related to the Great War of the last eon, and also to the enemy of our sword and magic universe, the Mad Devil universe. The Devil Beast Cove was created from the blood of a heaven-origin good fortune berserk devil. That, combined with the blood of countless other berserk devils, gave birth to the Devil Beast Cove. These demonic beasts have no sense of reason, and are extremely violent. Once the cataclysm arrives, it's highly possible that they will become the hounds of the mad demon cosmos. Therefore, we have to eliminate them. The main reason I chose this time is to temper the disciples and the experts of the Sacred Institute of the Forbidden Lands. I want to see some bloodshed. The cultivator from the humble Forbidden Land continued to speak. Medicine Ancestor, are we going to thoroughly eradicate the Devil Beast Abyss? I heard that there are many peak universe ruler realm existences in the Magical Beast Abyss, numbering in the dozens. There are even some magical beasts that peak universe ruler realm existences are not easy to deal with. An expert from a sacred ground couldn't help but ask. We have to get rid of them all. Moreover, Our peak sovereign realm experts from the thoughtful Forbidden Land and the flowing water Forbidden Land won't interfere unless it's absolutely necessary. The old man called Medicine Ancestor replied. Our Lord has said that if we can't even deal with a small devil beast abyss, we won't survive the cataclysm. There's another reason for clearing the devil beast abyss, and that is to make a batch of experts and disciples rise quickly. Fighting and killing are always the fastest shortcuts to the birth of experts. Although it's a little cruel, our sword and magic cosmos can't wait that long. Disciples who have been to the cosmos ruins should have seen a corner of the war. Most of the experts here were born in this cataclysm. Your parents' generation might have survived the last cataclysm, but they probably didn't tell you about the cruelty of the cataclysm. Other than the two lords, the seniors from the last cataclysm have all passed away. They won't tell you that our sword and magic cosmos had less than 1,000 sovereign realm experts who survived the last cataclysm. They also won't tell you that less than 1% of our entire cosmos population survived. Over at the flowing water Forbidden Land, an old woman said indifferently. Although her tone was calm, her words sent chills down everyone's spine. There were billions of people in the sword and magic cosmos, but less than 1% survived. Among 100 million people, only a few could survive. The lords that the old woman from the flowing water Forbidden Land referred to were naturally the two heavenly origin fortune realm experts. Therefore, only experts can survive. However, compared to the last cataclysm, we have one more heavenly origin fortune realm expert. Our flowing water Forbidden Land's Lord only broke through at the end of the cataclysm. This time, cleaning up the devil beast abyss can be considered as an experience for all experts and disciples. The corpses of devil beasts are also a huge resource for our cosmos. The old woman from the flowing water Forbidden Land continued. Granny Shaw, how are we going to clean up the devil beast abyss? Do you have any plans? An old man from the Sacred Institute asked. All the Holy Lands and Sacred Institute's Forbidden Lands will send their experts over. We will form an army, and all the elite core disciples will participate. All the disciples who are going to the cosmos ruins must participate. Only those who have gone through the bloodshed will be able to survive the cataclysm and protect our cosmos. Of course, we can't afford to lose too many people. Although the peak sovereign realm experts of our two Forbidden Lands will not take action, at least 1/3 of the experts below the 9th order sovereign realm will participate. If the Holy Lands and Sacred Institute want to become stronger in the future, send more experts as disciples. Those devil beasts' corpses are our cosmos' biggest resource. The flowing water Forbidden Lands Granny Shaw said. The Invincible Divine Dragon Grooming System will continue to be updated. Chapter 3999, the experts from the Intentional Forbidden Land and Flowing Water Forbidden Land said. Not everyone had to participate in this cleanup of the devil beast abyss. But the more experts there were, the better. Moreover, all the saints, saintesses, and geniuses who had entered the universe ruins had to participate. Apart from that, 1/3 of the disciples from the Intentional Forbidden Land and Flowing Water Forbidden Land would participate, except for the top-notch experts. This was a huge number. Their combat power was also terrifying. But one had to know that this cleanup was the Devil Beast Abyss, a gathering place for magical beasts that occupied the center of the sword and sorcery universe. This place had once been stained with the blood of Tian Yuan Fortune Incarnate, and even his limbs had fallen here. Although that Tian Yuan Fortune Incarnate had not died, it was still a terrifying thing to have his limbs here. It was no exaggeration to say that an arm of Tian Yuan Fortune Incarnate could give birth to countless magical beasts. It could even give birth to dozens of pinnacle universe lord-level magical beasts. The Devil Beast Abyss had existed for more than 20 billion years without being cleansed. One could imagine how terrifying this place was. Of course, this might be related to the plan of the two Tian Yuan Fortune Incarnate experts, or it might be due to some special reason that this place had not been destroyed. Wang Xian's eyes shone as he listened to the experts from the Intentional Forbidden Land and Flowing Water Forbidden Land. This was a good place to train. There were dangers, but there were also opportunities. This place had once been stained with the blood of Tian Yuan Fortune Incarnate. His limbs had once fallen here. Along with the birth of magical beasts, there would definitely be many treasures. Wang Xian's real body had already broken through to the Sixth Order Universe Lord realm. He was not afraid at all. Perhaps he could obtain large amounts of resources. Perhaps it could allow him to advance once more. Good. Next, we will open up an area in Tianyuan City for all the experts and disciples who participated in the war to stay, heal, trade, and spar. In the next few billion years, we will strive to give birth to even more experts in our sword and magic universe. All forbidden lands, sacred grounds, and sacred institute, go and prepare. We will prepare for war in 10 years. The alchemy ancestor from the intentional forbidden land continued to instruct. Yes. The experts from the forbidden grounds, and sacred institute immediately responded. They would not disobey the orders of the two great forbidden lands. The reason why the sacred academies and holy lands were able to be established was because the heaven's origin fortune of these two forbidden lands allowed them to develop freely. Otherwise, the universe would divide the two forbidden lands. The other forbidden lands, sacred grounds, and sacred institute all held the thoughtful forbidden land and the flowing water forbidden land in high esteem. Xiaoxian, Yin, Hao, don't follow us back to the Dragon Roar forbidden ground for the time being. Stay here in Tianyuan City and cultivate well. The experts from the two forbidden lands gave their orders. The Laozu of the Dragon Roar forbidden land looked at Wang Xian and the rest and spoke with glistening eyes. Ancestor, why? Long Yinhao stared blankly and asked in astonishment. Ancestor, I have a few enemies. Right now, there are many experts from the Holy Lands and Sacred Academies who are envious of you. In order to prevent any accidents, you all should stay in Tianyuan City. Tianyuan City is very safe. With Lord Tianyuan Fortune's magic array, there won't be any problems. The Laozu of the Dragon Roar forbidden land said as he patted Long Yinhao's head. Yinhao, cultivate well. The future of the Dragon Roar forbidden land depends on you. Hihi, I'm very happy. When you enter the Devil's Abyss for training, be careful in case there are people with ill intentions. Yes, Laozu. Long Yinhao replied immediately. Xiaoxian, you too, especially you. As long as you don't die, you'll definitely become a top-notch expert in our universe in the future. You must be careful. The Laozu of the Dragon Roar forbidden land looked at Wang Xian and continued, you've obtained a lot of treasures and opportunities. I'm afraid there will be people who covet them. I know, I'll be careful. Wang Xian nodded and replied with a smile. Hehe, great. The Laozu of the Dragon Roar forbidden land smiled and nodded. Long Yinhao's father and grandfather did not leave. Instead, they dragged Wang Xian, Long Yinhao, and Long Yinhao to Tianyuan City for a walk. He brought them to eat some delicacies and the like. Now, Long Yinhao's father and grandfather were unusually warm towards Wang Xian. They also knew that Wang Xian's identity was a little mysterious. Moreover, he said that he would leave the Dragon Roar forbidden land after the calamity broke out. But all of this was no longer important. Wang Xian could give such terrifying opportunities to Long Yinhao and Long Yinhao. What more could they ask for? Such opportunities could not be exchanged even if they were to sell the entire Dragon Roar forbidden land. Wang Xian was also unusually polite to Long Yinhao and her elders. In the following period of time, they were completely relaxed. And the entire universe of swords and sorcery was preparing for the purge of the Devil's Abyss. As the Void Dragon forbidden land had been attacked by some experts previously, Wang Xian did not let them show up. But this time, Wang Xian was prepared to let some disciples of the Dragon Palace participate in the purge of the Devil's Abyss. In addition, the hunting of the Devil's Abyss could also be regarded as opportunities. In addition, he also wanted to see which holy land or forbidden area, the Sacred Institute, had secretly attacked the Void Dragon forbidden area. If they continued to attack, Wang Xian would definitely make them pay the price. The current Void Dragon forbidden land was not weak. After such a long period of time, Roving Sword and the others had also obtained considerable improvements. It was especially so for Roving Sword. After absorbing the corpses of the powerhouses in the demonic pillars, coupled with the Heart of Faith, his breakthrough speed was also very fast. It wouldn't be long before he reached the 5th Order Universe Sovereign realm. The rest of the Dragon Guards were 3rd or 4th Order Universe Sovereigns, except for the Dragon Guards. Currently, Aosier and the others were the strongest. Right now, Roving Crab was still in the Cosmos ruins, devouring the god nation of that universe ruler realm expert. After devouring for close to 100 million years, Roving Crab's strength had reached the 8th Order Universe Sovereign realm. Of course, because Roving Crab belonged to the Devouring Dragon, even though he had the strength of an 8th Order Universe Sovereign, his combat power was only on par with a 7th Order Universe Sovereign. However, the strongest point of the Devouring Dragon was its human wave attack. That god nation of that universe ruler realm expert was no problem for the Devouring Dragon to produce more than a dozen 9th Order Universe Sovereigns. 10 years passed by quickly, and on this day, the old ancestor of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land called Wang Xian and the others, and they flew in the direction of Qianyuan City. Qianyuan City was huge, and in these 10 years, the flowing water Forbidden Land of the thoughtful Forbidden Land had opened up a separate territory within Qianyuan City to be used for the purge of the Devil's Abyss. Moreover, the teleportation arrays that led to the Devil's Abyss had been built there. Chapter 4000. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. When Wang Xian and the rest arrived at the Qianyuan City area. In the surrounding area, the experts and disciples from the Forbidden Grounds, Sacred Grounds, and Sacred Institute were also rushing over. One expert after another flew in the air. There were also experts from the Forbidden Grounds and Sacred Grounds, riding on huge magic artifact. Or perhaps soared Kinnes's flight. Dong, 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 dong. At this time, the sound of drumming came from the front. The drumming shook the sky, and it was filled with a somber atmosphere. Let's go. A shout came from the front, and everyone flew in the direction of the drumming. Wang Xian and the rest also flew in the direction of the drumming. When they arrived, there was a general naming stage in front of them, an incomparably huge arena. In the center of the arena, there was a drum, and a well-built middle-aged man was beating it. In the surrounding area, the experts and disciples of the flowing water Forbidden Land had arrived. They were standing in front of the drum. The formation was not arranged according to the Sacred Grounds and Forbidden Grounds, but according to their strength. A group of peak universe ruler realm experts stood at the very front. They were facing everyone here. The rest, regardless of whether they were 9th or 8th Order universe rulers, all stood in front of the group of top experts. The first row was 9th Order Sovereign, and the second row was 8th Order Sovereign. Then they lined up in order. However, as space-attributed 5th Order Sovereigns, they lined up with other 6th Order Sovereigns of the other attribute. Wang Xian looked over, and his eyes shone. He separated from Long Yinhao and Long Yinyan, and stood in the position where they belonged. All the experts and disciples of the Sword and Magic universe have arrived, right? The medicine ancestor of the undeserved Forbidden Land swept his gaze over them and said plainly, "Since you're all here, let me say something. Our formation is to deal with the cataclysm. It doesn't matter who is from which Forbidden Grounds or Sacred Grounds. Before the cataclysm comes, we only have one camp, and that is, the Sword and Magic universe, united against the enemy." The medicine ancestor said solemnly, and his dignified voice reached everyone's ears. His face was also filled with a solemn expression. "Next, we'll form small teams and clear out the outer perimeter of the magical beast abyss. After clearing out the outer perimeter, the magical beasts in the magical beast abyss will be threatened. The experts among them will lead their clans to counterattack. When the time comes, we'll fight in the form of an army. Other than that, there will be experts from the Forbidden Lands and Sacred Academies keeping an eye on peak-level universe sovereign realm beasts in the Devil Beast Abyss. You don't have to worry about them. However, you have to be careful when dealing with peak-level universe sovereign realm beast. Now, all of you can form a small team. The difference in levels between small teams must not exceed 3. Medicine Ancestor continued to order. Once the teams are formed, those below the Venerable Realm will be teleported over first, followed by those in the Sovereign Realm. As for those above the 7th Order Sovereign Realm, head directly to the 4th floor of the Devil Beast Abyss. Medicine Ancestor started to order. Yes. The experts from the Sacred Grounds and the Sacred Institute immediately responded. This was a battle that would determine the future of the cultivation calamity. No Sacred Grounds, Forbidden Grounds, or Institute would back out. Moreover, they couldn't back down. With the arrival of the cultivation calamity, they would be a single entity. There would be no separation of forces. This situation wasn't limited to the sword and magic cosmos. It was the same for the nine-source cosmos and the faith cosmos. Among the 24 palaces of the faith cosmos, there were still conflicts between the palaces. However, when it came to winning against the other cosmos, they would work together as one. The peak races of the nine-source cosmos rarely interacted. However, when facing other cosmos, they would still work together as one. Even the conflicts between the Dragon Palace, Phoenix race, and Angel race would be temporarily put aside when facing external enemies. However, in the future, the Dragon Palace, Phoenix race, and Angel race would be in a state of irreconcilable enmity. All right, all experts and disciples, prepare to form teams and enter. Medicine Ancestor waved his hand. Holy Son Wang Xian, are you interested in forming a team? Asked the Saintess of the Flowing Water Forbidden Lands with a smile as she looked at Wang Xian. I think our generation can work together. The barbarian Holy Son also smiled and said to Wang Xian, Saintess Liu Yu and the barbarian Holy Son were the top existences of their generation. If they wanted to form a team, they would either be experts and disciples from the same Forbidden Lands or disciples from the same generation. However, it was clear that they wanted to form a team with experts from the same generation. There was a huge benefit to this, and that was that different attributes would allow one to possess different powerful magic and sword techniques. In battles, they could complement each other. It was far better than forming a team with experts from the same Forbidden Land. In addition, they would also be making friends with experts from the same generation. Obviously, Wang Xian, who possessed the space attribute, would reach the pinnacle sovereign realm in the future as long as he didn't die. They still wanted to make friends with him. Even the seniors in their Forbidden Lands had said that they could make friends with Wang Xian. As long as he didn't die in the future, he would definitely be one of the top existences in their cosmos. Since a pinnacle sovereign realm expert from their race would give such an evaluation, they naturally wanted to make friends with him. Sure. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment, nodded, and said, I need to bring 2 junior brothers and sisters. That won't be a problem. Junior brothers and sisters Long Yinyan and Long Yinhao. Their talents are enough to join us. In addition, we will also invite some junior brothers and sisters to join us. Saintess Liu Yu nodded. In addition, we are also prepared to invite the supreme talents from other sacred lands and forbidden lands to fight together. The barbarian Holy Son continued. All right. Wang Xian nodded and didn't reject. After entering the Devil Beast Abyss, Wang Xian's void dragon body was prepared to train together with the group of experts and disciples. Wang Xian's real body would enter the Devil's Abyss alone. To obtain more resources, he had to rely on his real body. If that's the case, let's form a temporary team then. The barbarian Holy Son smiled and looked around. Those from the same generation as us, Third Order Universe Sovereigns and above, can join our team. Barbarian Holy Son, let's join. Barbarian Holy Son, can we join? When the saints and saintesses from other sacred lands and forbidden lands heard this, their eyes flickered. Some qualified ones immediately walked over. They didn't join just for the sake of gaining experience. For training, it would be safer for them to follow the experts from their own sacred lands and forbidden lands. However, if they joined this team, they could befriend the barbarian Holy Son, Saintess Liu Yu, and the others. If they fought together, the friendship that followed would be different. In the future, the barbarian Holy Son and Saintess Liu Yu would also be recognized as pinnacle sovereigns, as long as they didn't die along the way. Moreover, with their background, it would be difficult for them to die. Even if they died, they had treasures to revive them. Chapter 4001. Soon, more than 23rd Order Universe Sovereigns and above gathered around Innocent Saint and Saintess Liu Yu. Basically all the geniuses of the same generation were here. In the 100 million years in the universe ruins, many saints and saintesses had improved significantly. Compared to 100 million years ago, Everyone's strength had increased by quite a bit. Roving Sword and the rest did not join. Wang Xian did not let them join, mainly because he wanted to see which force was targeting the Void Dragon Forbidden Ground. Wang Xian placed the 5 elements grindstone and the Tai Chi Dragon coil on them, which was enough to deal with some dangers. Before entering the Devil's Abyss, we need to set up some arrays. This way, it will be easier to deal with the magical beasts. Sorcerers just need to be in charge of long-range attacks, buffing the swordsman, and the swordsman for close combat. Saint Wang Xian, you are very strong and have the spatial attribute. Therefore, you and Shu Ni Saint will carry out sneak attacks and disturb them. As Innocent Saint spoke to them, they formed a simple battle formation. The group nodded and had no objections. The Devil's Abyss was filled with horrifying magical beasts, and their numbers were huge. They could occupy the center of the sword and sorcery universe. Their strength was not to be underestimated. If the creation of Tian Yuan did not appear, even if all the experts from the Flowing Water Forbidden Ground and Innocent Forbidden Ground joined forces, they might not be able to destroy the Devil's Abyss. Among them, there were some magical beasts that were born from the creation of Tian Yuan's limbs. They possessed horrifying strength. However, the pinnacle sovereigns from the 2 forbidden grounds would not participate in this battle for now. It was left to the rest of the pinnacle sovereigns. There were also quite a number of experts from the other forbidden grounds, sacred grounds, and sacred institute. It was enough to deal with them. With our strength, we can go straight to the 3rd level of the Devil's Abyss. A saint from a sacred ground said, Let's go straight to the 3rd level of the Devil's Abyss. The 3rd level is filled with universe sovereigns, generally below 5th order. Innocent Saint nodded. The Devil's Abyss had a total of 9 levels. Yes, they lived underground. They had opened up 9 enormous underground spaces. Because of that, it was extremely difficult to eliminate them. There were countless magical beasts living in every level. Let's go. Wang Xian had no objections and followed them to the teleportation formation. Long Yinyin and Long Yinhao were the weakest amongst the group. However, they were magicians, so they only needed to attack from the back. The group of people arrived in front of the teleportation array and immediately began the teleportation. Buzz. In an instant, Wang Xian felt the scenery before him changing. In front of them was a huge primeval forest. Some of the trees in the forest were black, while others were blood-red. The blood-red trees were still emitting a bright luster. They looked very strange. Wang Xian took a look and his eyes flickered. Is this the magical beast abyss? This is my first time here. Long Yinyin looked ahead and said, this is the highest level of the magical beast abyss. Most of the magical beasts living here are at the God Emperor level. They pose no threat to us. From the side, a saintess of the Sacred Institute smiled and replied to Long Yinyin, oh, thank you. Long Yinyin smiled and nodded at the saintess. No need. The saintess also smiled. Although Long Yinyin and Long Yinhao came from weak forbidden grounds, they had obtained the legacy of the corpse within the demonic column. No saint or saintess would dare to look down on them. Let's go. The magical beasts at the highest level will be dealt with by ordinary disciples. Let's go to the underground passageway to the 1st level. There are many entrances to the 1st level of the magical beast abyss. Let's search for them. It was clearly not the first time Saintess Liu Yu and the others had been here. They moved and led the way as they spoke to everyone. Wang Xian was on one side of him, while Innocent Saint was on the other. He and Innocent Saint were both swordsmen. Therefore, they had to protect the magicians in the center. The group flew forward and soon found a cave beside a red tree. The cave was pitch black and very deep. It led to the 1st level of the magical beast abyss. There's a cave here. Let's go. When Innocent Saint saw this, he immediately said, under normal circumstances, the danger of entering the 1st level isn't high. There isn't much risk in passing through such a hole. But if we go deeper, we have to be careful. Although demonic beasts are not rational, they will hunt. As he spoke, he looked at Wang Xian. His main purpose was to explain it. They also knew that this was Wang Xian's first time here. Wang Xian nodded his head and the group entered the cave. The cave had a diameter of 1,000 meters. Even with their strength, they flew down for about 5 minutes. This depth was abnormally terrifying. When they arrived at the first level, they realized it was like an underground world. There were trees and rivers throughout the entire underground world. There were also all kinds of colorful flowers. The entire first level of the magical beast abyss exuded a bewitching beauty. It was like a multicolored mushroom, possessing a terrifying poison. Wang Xian took a look and his eyes were filled with curiosity. This magical beast abyss wasn't simple. This was just the first level. There were a total of 9 levels. Let's go. Let's find the entrance to the second level, Innocent Saint and the others said as the group continued searching for the entrance. Soon, they found an entrance. They stepped into the second level again. The scenery of the second level was similar to the first. They continued deeper and found the entrance to the third level. We have to be careful. The third level is filled with magical beasts at the sovereign realm. I heard from the seniors of the innocent Forbidden Land that the entire magical beast abyss was a terrifying battlefield back then. The experts of the creation realm of Heaven Origin were stained with blood. Countless experts and disciples of the other crazy devil cosmos died here. The number of experts and disciples who died was no less than 100 billion. At that time, the Mad Devil Universe's army invaded the center of our sword and magic universe. We were almost defeated in that battle. Fortunately, His Excellency from the Flowing Water Forbidden Land made a breakthrough and we won. Otherwise, our sword and magic universe would have been conquered. But there were too many casualties that time. The blood turned into an ocean, and the corpses towered between heaven and earth, reaching into the cloud. This is also where the magical beast abyss was born. The blood of countless people from the crazy devil cosmos stained it, giving birth to magical beasts. The number of magical beasts here is terrifying. Honest Saint Sun introduced. Wang Xian listened and clicked his tongue slightly. It seemed like the sword and magic cosmos was far more tragic than the nine-source cosmos. Although there were enemies in the nine-source cosmos, they were not invaded by the army. Chapter 4002, We've arrived at the third level. After passing through the second level, they arrived at the third level. The scenery was the same as the first and second levels. Trees of all colors grew. They emitted a bewitching glow. Just as Wang Xian and the rest arrived at the third level, a roar sounded. Everyone immediately looked towards the source of the roar and saw a magical beast that looked like a giant butterfly. This demonic beast's body was brightly colored, covering its horrifying flesh pimples. It was 1,000 meters long and exuded a terrifying aura. It's a maze meat dish magical beast, a first-order universe sovereign. One of the saints looked over and immediately recognized the demonic beast, and he said, "That's right. Let's begin. You said that most of the magical beasts on the third level are below fifth-order sovereigns. Let's wipe them all out." Wang Xian looked at the magical beast and said, With our team's strength, the third level is still very safe. But it's impossible to wipe them all out. The barbarian saint shook his head and looked at Wang Xian. Saint Wang Xian, you might not know this, but the magical beasts will place their offspring in the abyss corresponding to their strength and let them grow there. But once their offspring are killed, they may not care if they are killed by the magical beasts. But if they are killed by us, they will retaliate and attack us. In other words, if we hunt wantonly, we may be attacked by the magical beasts in the deeper levels. The devil beast abyss was not as simple as Wang Xian thought. This was the territory of the magical beasts, and they had their own rules. It did not mean that the magical beasts in the lower levels would not care about the magical beasts in the upper levels. After the offspring of the magical beasts were born, they would grow up in the levels and hunt. At this time, if they were killed by someone other than their own kind, the magical beasts might retaliate. Oh, then we have to be more careful. Wang Xian nodded slightly when he heard this. If a seventh-order universe sovereign realm magical beast rushed up, they would not be a match at all. Of course, we don't have to worry too much. When the powerful magical beasts sense the death of their offspring, they will need some time to rush over. If we handle this well, we can leave quickly. Every level of the magical beast abyss is very big. They won't be able to lock onto us. In the magical beast abyss, The most important thing to be careful of is not to be surrounded by magical beast hordes for a long period of time. Once you are surrounded, you may be attacked by magical beasts from the deeper regions. Liu Yu Saintus added on. Wang Xian nodded his head slightly. Let's go. Let's start cleaning. The barbarian Holy Sun chuckled. The group of people flashed and flew towards the First Order Universe Sovereign Realm maize meat dish. They moved and quickly flew over. Raw. When the enchanting meat dish sensed Wang Xian and the rest flying over, it spread its colorful wings and flew away. It stared at him and felt a sense of threat. It turned around and fled into the distance. As it flapped its wings, waves of chaotic energy erupted from its body. The demonic beasts of the magical beast abyss were filled with chaotic energy. Their bodies contained not just one type of energy, but many types of energy. It was like the amalgamation of all kinds of energies, incomparably chaotic. However, it possessed terrifying energy. Hurry up and kill it. As the barbarian Holy Sun spoke, a wave of energy enveloped everyone. Their speed suddenly increased by a few times. Hihi, I'll go first. Liu Yu Holy Daughter chuckled. With a wave of her hand, an incomparably huge staff appeared in her hand. She raised the staff and a water net instantly condensed in front of the enchanting meat dish. The entire water net enveloped it. Roar. The First Order Sovereign Realm demonic beast let out a desperate roar when it saw the water net enveloping it. Fut, fut, fut. The water net enveloped its body, and droplets of water flowed into its body. The entire demonic beast fell to the ground instantly, without any signs of life. Let's look for a group of magical beasts to fight. A lone magical beast is boring. The barbarian Holy Sun chuckled and said when he saw the demonic beast being killed so easily. I'll go look for it. You guys keep watch around. Wang Xian said to them. We'll look around too. The Holy Sun and Saintess of the Spatial Forbidden Zone also spoke up. Among all the attributes, the spatial attribute was the best at scouting. They were naturally responsible for scouting. All right. Liu Yu Holy Daughter nodded and said, be careful. Wang Xian nodded his head and looked ahead. With a flash, he disappeared instantly. The Holy Sun and Saintess of the Spatial Forbidden Zone also disappeared instantly. It's much more convenient for us to form a team like this than to act alone. A Saintess couldn't help but chuckle when she saw them leaving. The group nodded in agreement. With the spatial attribute to scout, it was very easy for them to work together in battle. Wang Xian teleported to a faraway location. With a thought, he sensed the surroundings with his mind. Given his current strength, he didn't have to worry about his expression here. After a few flashes, he was already very far away from the group. He quickly sensed the surroundings and encountered hundreds of magical beasts along the way. All of them were First Order, Second Order, and Third Order sovereigns. The density of magical beasts in the abyss of magical beasts is really high. Wang Xian couldn't help but exclaim. In the Nine-Source universe, there weren't as many universe sovereigns as there were in the abyss of magical beasts. Of course, this might have something to do with the blood of creation realm sovereigns here. Countless living beings had died here. Because of the blood of the creation realm sovereigns, this place had changed. In addition, the creation realm sovereigns from the sword and magic cosmos did not destroy this place. As for why they did not destroy this place, it might be used as a training ground for the disciples of the cosmos. There could also be other reasons. As for the specifics, Wang Xian didn't know. Hey! After flying for a day, Wang Xian sensed the presence of a group of magical beasts. In a flash, he appeared above the group of magical beast. Woo woo, woo woo. Woo woo, woo woo. The moment Wang Xian appeared, the magical beasts immediately sensed him. Pairs of golden eyes stared at him fiercely. Wang Xian swept his gaze across. There were 25 Fifth Order Universe Sovereigns. There were over 50 Fourth Order Universe Sovereigns. The rest were over 300 of other levels. A group of magical beasts of this level, I can easily exterminate them myself. Wang Xian mumbled as he looked around. He revealed a hesitant look, but still decided to inform the barbarian saint and the rest. Let's fight with them for some time first. If it doesn't work, I'll leave by myself. Chapter 4003, Swish Swish Swish. Wang Xian sent a message to the barbarian saint, Liu Saintus, and the rest. A few hours later, figures flew over one by one. Wang Xian had already retreated from the place where the demonic beasts had gathered. Holy Son Wang Xian, have you discovered a horde of demonic beasts? The barbarian saint and the rest looked at Wang Xian and asked with smiles. Yes. 25 fifth-order universe sovereigns, over 40 fourth-order universe sovereigns, and over 300 other demonic beasts. Wang Xian nodded his head and answered them. The strength of this horde of demonic beasts isn't weak, Liu Saintus said as she narrowed her eyes. It's not a big problem. We can eliminate them easily. Wang Xian replied. Given our strength, it's indeed not a problem. We just have to be careful not to be ambushed by the demonic beasts on the next level. The barbarian saint nodded his head and looked at the group behind him. Everyone, prepare for battle. Leave the fifth order and fourth order universe sovereigns to us. The rest are yours. Yes. The group of saints, saintesses, and supreme talents answered immediately with glistening eyes. The demonic beast army was still a huge pressure for them. However, they had Wang Xian, the barbarian saint, and Liu Saintus on their side. It shouldn't be a big problem. Let's go. Wang Xian gestured to them and led the way. Soon, the group arrived at the horde of demonic beasts. It's a hunter demonic beast. The barbarian saint and the rest approached. When they saw the humanoid demonic beast ahead, he immediately spoke. A solemn look appeared on his face. What do you think? Wang Xian asked when he saw his expression. The demonic beast ahead looked similar to a human, but it was a few thousand meters in size. Its entire body was covered in terrifying weapons, just like a killing machine. The hunter demonic beast is a huge race in the magical beast abyss. They can be found in every level. This also means that there's a high chance that powerful hunter demonic beasts will rush up from the lower levels after hunting them. It's the most dangerous demonic beast to hunt, Liu Saintus explained. There's such a thing. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. Holy Virgin Liu, I suggest that we don't provoke them. This tribe's strength is considered to be at the top of the third level. If we kill them, there's a 60 to 70% chance that magical beasts will rush over from the fourth level. It's very risky. The Holy Maiden of the Forbidden Space pondered for a moment before suggesting, the risk is high, but the reward is also high. Are we going to hunt only third or fourth order sovereigns? Wang Xian frowned as he looked at the demon hunter before him. It would be too boring if they didn't hunt these magical beasts. Yes, the risk is great, but the rewards are also great. We're here to train, to clean up the magical beast abyss. If we're only dealing with some weak magical beasts, there's no need to form a team. The barbarian saint nodded in agreement and looked around. Everyone, are you going to attack? With the barbarian saint and the others here, we are much stronger than the magical beasts. It would be inexcusable if we didn't take action. There's no guarantee of safety in the magical beast abyss. A saintess and saintess hesitated for a moment before speaking up. All right, everyone, prepare to attack. Saintess Liu narrowed her eyes and ordered everyone, fight. Swordsman, let's go. The barbarian saint waved his arm, and a 3-meter-long giant sword appeared in his hand. It was surrounded by lightning bolt. Wang Xian moved, and in a flash, he appeared above the group of magical beasts. The moment they unleashed their energy, the hundreds of magical beasts saw Wang Xian and the others, and their eyes were filled with coldness. In their cold eyes, a wave of energy was released, and they attacked Wang Xian and the others. They attacked directly. Wang Xian was unfazed. Swish 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 swish. In the blink of an eye, spatial swords appeared around him. There were more than a dozen spatial swords, and half of them were inborn cardinal treasures. Although Wang Xian's void divine dragon body couldn't control so many inborn cardinal treasures at once, the sharpness of inborn cardinal treasures was still terrifying, and inborn spiritual treasures couldn't compare to it. More than a dozen spatial swords instantly attacked the fifth-order universe sovereign realm demon hunters. Swish 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 swish. Roar roar. The moment Wang Xian flew into the sky, beams of golden energy shot towards him. In an instant, more than a dozen demon hunters charged towards him. That terrifying aura and violent might made one's heart palpitate. Demon hunters possessed wind, darkness, and metal attributes. When these attributes were combined, it was extremely explosive. Strangle. Wang Xian looked at them and snorted. Above him, more than a dozen spatial swords formed a line. The sword mound was set up instantly. The sword array was formed instantly. Hualala. Sounds like glass shattering reverberated. More than a dozen spatial swords instantly charged towards more than a dozen demon hunters. In the void, there seemed to be countless spatial swords condensed into sharp swords. In a flash, they pierced through more than a dozen demon hunters. In the next instant, screams were heard. More than a dozen demon hunters were killed in an instant, and fell to the ground. What a strong attack! Seeing this, the barbarian saint's eyes were filled with fighting spirit. He was surrounded by lightning, and the huge sword was also covered in lightning. Crackle! In a flash, he was like a bolt of lightning, shuttling in front of him instantly. When the demon hunters saw this, they waved their arms that were like sharp weapons and swept them towards the thunderbolts. However, the speed of the lightning was too fast. In an instant, it pierced through their bodies. The huge sword pierced through their chests directly. The lightning flashed and pierced through the bodies of 9 demon hunters. Similarly, 9 demon hunters were killed by him in an instant. One water, one world. Seeing this, Saintess Lua's eyes flashed with fighting spirit. The huge magic staff in her hand shone brightly. Each water droplet that seemed to contain the entire world attacked the fifth-order universe-dominator demon hunters. When the rest of the devil hunters saw Wang Xian and his team, they roared furiously and charged towards them in unison. "Prepare to attack!" One of the saints shouted and charged forward with a sharp sword in his hand. Magic, attack! At the back, the group of saints, saintesses, and supreme talents who specialized in magic immediately released their magic and began attacking. Chapter 4004, Rumble, Rumble, Rumble. The battle had begun. The entire team immediately clashed with hundreds of hunter demons. All the fourth-order universe sovereigns and above were fended off by Wang Xian, the barbarian saint, and Liu Yu Saintess. As for the rest of the demonic beasts, another group fought against them. The swordsmen fought in close combat at the front. At the back, a group of sorcerers assisted and attacked from afar. With their cooperation, they immediately suppressed the group of demonic beast. Wang Xian instantly killed over a dozen fifth-order universe sovereigns. He waved his arm. Space swords floated around him and sword mounds were set up around him. Roar, roar, roar. The group of fourth-order and fifth-order sovereigns could feel the terrifying pressure from Wang Xian. They became agitated and roared furiously. Rumble, rumble. They stomped heavily on the ground and charged towards the sky. In an instant, over 30 hunter demons charged towards Wang Xian. They waved their sharp claws and clawed towards the sky. Waves of violent energy shrouded towards Wang Xian. Wang Xian waved his arm and the surrounding sword mounds trembled before connecting together. A sword array was formed and shrouded the area below. Fut, fut, fut. Any hunter devil beast that charged over was slain by Wang Xian. One move and all of them were killed. Brother Wang Xian, isn't your attack power a little too terrifying? At the side, the barbarian saint was shocked to see Wang Xian kill so many hunter devil beasts in 2 moves. This was a real battle. He could clearly sense the powerful attack power in Wang Xian's 2 moves. This caused his face to be filled with shock. "Leave some for us." Liu Yu Saintess looked over and opened her mouth. She couldn't help but ask. After witnessing this terrifying sword technique, Liu Yu Saintess could basically confirm that it would be difficult for her to defeat Wang Xian. In fact, she might even be defeated. This was because she was a sorcerer. Experts with the space attribute had a great advantage over sorcerers. All right. Wang Xian chuckled and nodded his head lightly. He floated in the air and didn't continue his attack. Below him, the group of devil hunters and magical beasts sensed Wang Xian's aura and did not attack him. This Saint Wang Xian's combat strength is really terrifying. He killed almost half of the elite magical beasts in just 2 moves. Hiss, with his strength, He can easily destroy this horde of demonic beasts by himself. He's too strong. His destructive power seems to be even stronger than the barbarian saint and the others. What kind of spatial sword technique is that? How can it be so terrifying? The holy sons, holy virgins, and geniuses in the surroundings were also shocked when they saw this scene. Wang Xian's combat strength was just too strong. Even though he possessed the space attribute, he was still a fifth-order sovereign. Now, killing magical beasts of the same level was like slaughtering dogs. It was too shocking. His sword technique. Saint Shu Ni, who was in the forbidden land of space, looked at Wang Xian with flickering eyes. His expression changed drastically. The spatial attribute had always been the strongest in the forbidden space. Now, there was a young man of the same generation whose strength far surpassed his, which made him jealous. His expression changed, but he continued to kill the demonic beasts in front of him. After hearing Holy Virgin Liuyue's words, Wang Xian did not attack again. He hovered in the air, watching everything with a smile. His gaze fell on Long Yinyan and Long Yinhao, and he nodded slightly. Without Wang Xian to continue attacking, their speed of battle was much slower. However, this was also the intention of the barbarian saint and Holy Virgin Liu Yu. When they unleashed their full strength, they could finish the battle quickly. But in that case, the other members would not get the chance to train. Therefore, they slowed down the pace of battle. To ensure safety, end the battle within half an hour. The barbarian saint killed a hunter demon beast in front of him with a slash of his sword. End the battle within half an hour. Even if the lower-level hunter demon beasts sensed that their offspring had been killed, by the time they rushed over, they would have already left. Half an hour was a safe period of time. Yes. The group of disciples answered loudly. The demonic beasts had strong vitality, and they had a very powerful ability. That was Berserk. These demonic beasts were very special. They had several elemental energies integrated into their bodies. There was even a hint of conflict between the various elemental energies. But even so, the power of the demonic beasts in a berserk state was terrifying. In a berserk state, their battle strength could increase by 50%. Wang Xian hovered above, sizing them up. Every universe had its own unique characteristics. The Nine-Source universe's characteristic was the Universe Kingdom. The Sword and Magic universe's characteristic was magic and swordsmanship. The Faith universe's characteristic was the power of faith. The Void universe's characteristic was the power of space. And the formation of these demonic beasts was mainly due to the crazy demon universe. The crazy devil cosmos definitely had some unique characteristics. Berserk might be one of them. The more heavily injured they were, the more terrifying their berserk power would be. Just now, Wang Xian had killed the hunter demon beast in an instant, so it could not go berserk in front of him. He watched calmly as the hunter demon beasts were killed one by one. At most 20 minutes, all the demonic beasts would be finished. However, 10 minutes later, all of a sudden, a terrifying roar was heard. Not far away, 8 figures were rushing towards them at high speed. They were jumping on the ground, and each jump could cover a terrifying distance. 8 hunter demon beast. They were over 2,000 meters tall, and their bodies were filled with berserk energy. Oh no, how is this possible? These are the lower-level hunter demon beasts. How can they be so fast? Not good, it's the 6th-order sovereign realm hunter demon beasts. How can they be so fast? A sudden roar sounded. Following which, everyone felt a chill down their spine as the threat of death enveloped them. Everyone looked over, and when they saw the 8 figures leaping over, their eyes narrowed. Their faces were filled with shock and fear. 8 6th-order sovereign realm hunter demon beasts charging over. This wasn't something they could fight against. What? When the barbarian saint, Liu Yu Saintus, and the rest saw these 8 figures, their faces changed. Run now. Their faces changed, and they immediately shouted. 8 6th-order sovereign realm hunter demon beasts were no longer something they could deal with. Especially for the other team members, once the battle started, only death awaited them. Chapter 4005. Roar, 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 roar. The sudden appearance of the 8 Sixth-Order Universe Sovereign Realm Devil Hunters caused the entire team to reveal looks of fear. Without any hesitation, they gave the order to escape. Wang Xian raised an eyebrow when he saw this. It was not impossible to deal with 8 Sixth-Order Sovereign Realm Devil Hunters. However, he had no intention of fighting them. Only 8 of them had come. What if there were more? In that case, it was not something that they could resist. Wang Xian might be able to escape easily, but they might not be able to. With this thought in mind, Wang Xian moved and followed the group of people as they flew into the distance. Wang Xian, the barbarian saint, and Liu Yu Saintus shrouded everyone with their energy as they flew faster. Roar, 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 roar. The 8 demon hunters let out violent roars when they saw them escaping. Their speed suddenly increased by a lot. Moreover, they split up and tried to surround them from both sides. They're fast. The barbarian saint's expression changed when he heard the roars coming from behind. Speed up and shake them off. We'll be in trouble if we can't shake them off, Liu Yu Saintus said solemnly. Their expressions did not look too good. Roar. However, at this time, a demon hunter let out a deafening roar from behind. This roar spread out in all directions. It seemed to be summoning something. Oh no, this demon hunter is summoning something. The magical beasts on the lower level can command the magical beasts on the upper level. They're summoning a magical beast to stop us. Shu Ni, who was in the forbidden space zone, shouted loudly when he saw this. He was currently in the 4th Order Sovereign Realm. If he was targeted by a 6th Order Sovereign Realm magical beast, he would still be in danger even if he had the space attribute and could escape quickly. Run! The barbarian saint and the rest shouted in a low voice. His 2-meter giant sword had become 1,000 meters long. Everyone stood on his giant sword. Liu Yu Saintus's flowing water power kept increasing the speed of the giant sword. At the same time, Wang Xian's space power was also added to it. Based on their speed, escaping shouldn't be too much of a problem. Behind them, the gap between the demon hunters and them grew wider and wider. It should be fine now. After fleeing for about 10 minutes, the Liu Yu Holy Maiden turned around and glanced behind her. She could no longer see the hunter demons or magical beasts behind her. She heaved a sigh of relief. If they were entangled by these 8 magical beasts, it would be very troublesome for them. Even if they could escape, the entire team would suffer heavy losses. It should be fine. It was really dangerous just now. It's best if we don't provoke this kind of hunter magic beast. Didn't our group of seniors go to the 4th floor to clean up? Now that senior has gone to the 4th floor, things should be better. The holy sons and holy daughters spoke with lingering fear in their hearts. Roar. However, as soon as they finished speaking, a series of roars came from the front. The sudden roar made all of them slightly stunned. Wang Xian stood on the sharp sword of the barbarian saint. He was slightly taken aback as he looked ahead. In front of them, hundreds of demon hunters were staring at them, their eyes filled with violent killing intent. Among these several hundred devil beasts, there were 25th Order sovereigns. The rest were all 2nd Order sovereigns and above. Why did we encounter such a strong demon hunter? Everyone raised their eyebrows when they saw this. Barbarian saint, they are charging over. Hundreds of demon hunters exuded a violent aura as they attacked them. This group of demon hunters has entered a violent state. This is bad. Let's get rid of them immediately and leave this place. Holy daughter Liu Yu narrowed her eyes when she saw the group of demon hunters going berserk before the battle even started. Wang Xian looked at the demon hunters with a glimmer in his eyes. These demon hunters were slightly different from the group they had encountered earlier. Just now, they had taken the initiative to search and hunt. As for these demon hunters, it seemed like they were here specifically to attack them. Moreover, they had already gone berserk before they even charged over. When the demon hunters went berserk, their combat strength instantly increased by 50%. To them, this was a little shocking. Magical beasts did not go berserk at will. Their berserk behavior came at the cost of their vitality and potential. Under normal circumstances, they would only go berserk when they were in danger or injured. This kind of berserk behavior before they even charged over made them slightly uneasy. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Wang Xian did not hesitate. One by one, the space swords floated in the air. As the space swords flickered, they began to form sword mound. Attack! The barbarian saint focused his eyes and the huge sword returned to his hand. He charged forward, enveloped in lightning. The saints and saintesses who practiced swordsmanship followed closely behind. Holy Daughter Liu Yu also unleashed her powerful sorcery. Roar, roar. Roar, roar. In front of them, the group of demon hunters did not seem to be afraid of death as they stared at Wang Xian and the rest with cold eyes. The violent energy in the surroundings formed a terrifying storm. Even though Wang Xian and the barbarian saint were stronger, they still charged over fearlessly. Moon sword array. Wang Xian looked at the demon hunters without any emotion in his eyes. Above them, the sword mounds were formed and connected to form a sword array. A moonlight sword disc appeared in the sky, shining brightly. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Following which, countless sharp swords flew towards the group of demon hunters. Roar, roar. At the very front, more than 25th Order Sovereign Realm Devil Hunters felt threatened, and they waved their arms. Streaks of horrifying sharp blades shrouded Wang Xian and the rest. It completely covered half the sky. Boom, 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 boom. Terrifying sounds of collision could be heard. Other than Wang Xian, the attacks of the barbarian saint and Liu Yu Saintess, had penetrated their attacks. The rest of the attacks were all blocked by them. However, this was enough. The attacks from Wang Xian and the rest landed on the bodies of the Fifth Order sovereigns. The terrifying destructive power caused his life force to rapidly disappear. In the blink of an eye, over 25th Order Sovereign Realm magical beasts were killed by them. Roar. However, the instant they killed more than 25th Order Sovereign Realm magical beasts, they retreated to their left and right. The 8 demon hunters charged over at a frightening speed. What? Everyone's expression changed when they saw the 6th Order Sovereign Realm Hunter Devil charging towards them.